me. Me in the ass, damn it. I love The Last Jedi. I love Disney Star Wars. I love Rian Johnson.
What happens if I click this? Nothing. Okay.
All right, John Wilson. I've got EMF level 3 in here. John Wilson.
Get
Oh my God! Oh my God! Run! Oh my God!
No, it's okay. It's just me, Mark the Cyborg.
Oh my...
Mother...
That's perfect.
Hell.
I want to go on record and say I have never wrote poetry for anybody here at Geeks and Gamers. The yellow hue around your face just radiates angel's grace. Your squinty eye, to my surprise, makes me wonder what's behind those eyes.
Thank you, Jay. Why would you do that? Why would you put that out there?
I don't think I know a single man that writes poetry.
But
The
I
face you make upon a sneeze makes the internet want to squeeze.
Squeeze what?
That happened just then. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God.
Oh, damn it.
Jeez, man.
The big thanks I hated to everything that just happened there.
God!
Fucking boomerang! God damn it!
It's gonna be great.
I can't wait for that. Hold on. I got to address someone in the chat here. We got Awesome Guy.
Awesome guy. What's up, awesome guy?
Celebration cringe. Are you retarded? Star Wars Celebration has been a thing since 199.
199?
I don't know
Wow.
who the fuck you are. I just got this stream on my recommended for some reason. Stop being reactionaries. Well, Awesome Guy. I'm sure the chat's going to love you. But Awesome Guy, if you want Star Wars Celebration cringe, I am here. I'm here to give that to you. Don't fucking worry.
199. 199.
Since 199.
None of the chats.
All right. It's been around for almost 2,000 years, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
And welcome into Tuesday night's main event here on Geeks and Gamers. Couple of old school clips there. It's almost like people want to see Ryan playing video games. He will be here later. Don't worry. As a matter of fact, it was confirmed on today's Geeks and Gamers Daily. Me and Ryan are playing Helldivers next Thursday. Next Thursday.
Hell yeah.
Matter of fact, hey, if it wasn't for having Grummz and Kabrutus here, I'd be playing Helldivers right now. I would have canceled tonight's show and just played Helldivers.
I'll play Helldivers during the show if anyone else wants to.
Yeah, that's what's up right there.
I can talk in game
right now.
That's totally fine by me.
But welcome in, everybody. We have a great show tonight and a lot to discuss. So let's jump right into it. Stuttering Craig, the man who's taking games back. What's up, Stuttering Craig?
That's right. It's all about it's about starting, taking the first step, doing a little action, not talking and get going. And you know what? You're gonna mess up along the way, and that's okay. It's good to see everybody.
That's the story of my YouTube life. You're gonna mess up. Just keep going.
Just keep going. You know, it's okay if you mess up. Yeah. Launched Take Games Back yesterday, and you know, I wish I could tell you that it was some like long-standing plan to do, but it wasn't. It was just out of seeing all the bullshit that's happening. It's like something's got to be done. So let's figure it out and let's go with it. And it's been good. We'll talk about that more later. But I'm really kind of upset tonight. And I was hoping to get some comfort from you guys as I'm really missing Jay. Anybody seen him?
He's not here to talk
The way
games.
you said that was gayer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I was for a second. I was like, wait, did something happen to Jay? Like, am I?
Yeah, something
That's
awful
so
happened to him. He gets to hang out with Gina Carano.
Oh, man.
That's
What
his
a
excuse
shame.
for not being here with us, is he gets to hang out with Gina Carano. So guess we're just not a big deal. We will remember that. He'll probably try to get Grummz and Kabrutus on his show. You guys just remind him that you guys are not important enough, but Gina was.
And also remember
probably
that he
doesn't bother you though.
Yeah, he couldn't get Captain Kirk a spoon. Yeah. Meets all these celebrities and just pisses them all off and just has a bad name. With
So funny about that. So I don't know if you guys know Drunk 3PO is Kabrutus or Grummz. So Grummz, last week on Tuesday Night's Main Event, when I was telling everybody I wanted to get you on, I sent this tweet out and I was like, hey guys, like go signal boost it and let him know. Like we want him on Geeks and Gamers. So Jay just responds with, let's talk games. And it was such a like funny comment if you know Jay, because he's objectively the worst gamer here by a mile. Like he's just terrible. He can't even figure out Lawnmower Simulator.
He's fantastic at Dark Souls.
Yeah, so now it's this big meme, all because he put it in your replies, Grummz. So it was pretty great. Yeah, we actually had Mark.
My DMs are open. You didn't have to like drum up like organic support or anything.
We had to blow it out of proportion. That's what us YouTubers do. We have to clickbait everything.
Hey, go big or go home.
That's right. That's right. We got Melanie Mack, listen, I was watching Side Scrollers today. Melanie Mack was like, some people are hating on her. Who would hate Melanie Mack? Like, I've never seen a person that hated Melanie Mack. She's never had a
single person. not one hater, but I guess there was an exception this week. So
yeah, I heard that. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Just a normal Tuesday with a bunch of people mad at in my mentions. But other than that, yeah, just watched Dune part 2. Yeah. Day before yesterday, I think it was. I loved it. Thought it was great, but apparently I'm watching it wrong according to what I've been seeing circulating on the internet.
Well, have you seen the first one? You saw the first one? And so I like the first one more, but I love the first one. So that's a high bar.
Yeah.
But I did like the second one a lot, but Melanie, we got issues. Okay. Me and you got issues. You said Timothy Chalamet for Levi. Like, come on. No.
He's got the little man, big confidence, energy. He has the energy to pull off Levi.
It's just because he's everything now.
I do understand.
He was great. He was great.
Bro, that second half, Timothy stepped on the fucking gas. Yeah, his voice got real nasty.
That's why I was like, Levi.
About that guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Look at Melanie's eyes. Look how big they got when she started thinking about it.
I was like, how can such a little dude be so manly? And like,
I was like, oh my God.
I was like, yes, he needs to be Levi. And I am, trust me, I'm with you that he's in too many things. I agree. But this is a role that he would be perfect for.
No. Well, I will say if they are going to do a live action Attack on Titan, he's probably going to be the #1 choice because of the trend and everything. Again, he was fantastic in Dune. Okay,
so good. I don't think they do a live action Attack on Titan for the record, but I do think he gives Levi energy. But with the because they had like the Japanese live action.
Yeah, I
hated it. I hated it.
Well, because the hard thing to do in Attack on Titan and have it not look ridiculous outside the medium of anime is the Titans. Because they're ridiculous. The concept of them is actually really nuts. And it would be very difficult to pull that off in live action and have it not just look very silly.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the best live action so far on Netflix or anywhere?
One Piece.
One Piece.
Yeah.
That was pretty epic.
Yeah. Live action, you could argue Alita. Maybe it's a manga. I guess there were OVA animes. So maybe Alita or One Piece.
Too.
But I think I'd probably take One Piece over Alita.
But One Piece is more accurate, so I would argue it's a better adaptation.
If Ryan was here, and he will be here later, chat, but if he was here, he would be trolling and saying Death Note live action because he wants to be hated.
All you need is Kill was a manga, and it turned into Edge of Tomorrow.
The Tom Cruise movie. The Tom
Live
Cruise
Die
movie,
Repeats.
That is a phenomenal movie.
Such a huge inspiration.
On my first day at GameStop TV, when I used to host for them, one of the producers was asking me questions. They're like, "Oh yeah, so you do really like anime, right?" And I said, "Yeah," and my favorite is Death Note. And he's like, "Oh, so you probably love the live action." I said, "Are you trolling me?" And he wasn't. So he was really embarrassed after that. I was like, "You're trolling, right?"
That's when she first started using the gamer words.
It was at that moment.
I think we're gonna have a lot of dudes wearing skinny jeans and mascara tomorrow after Melanie Mack said she likes Timothy Chalamet.
Any dude that can pull off that energy, sign me up.
I love the idea of that interaction happening, and that's what broke Melanie. Just out of nowhere, like.
That was my Joker arc.
Krista, you're on the panel. You can say it. Say it. She was in the chat saying it. Go ahead.
Kenshin, the live action Kenshin. It's also on Netflix. Really great.
I've never heard of it.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Samurai X?
No, what's that?
Yeah.
Never mind. Then it's Samurai X was the American title for Rurouni Kenshin. So
I gotcha. We got Fear the Beardo in the house. What's up, man?
I'm just ready to talk about games.
Let's talk games. Let's talk games.
Let's do it.
And then let's play Helldivers.
Oh man, Helldivers is so much fun. I played with Jay the other day.
It's about freaking time.
I was playing with Jay and X-Wing. Me and X-Wing were playing. Jay was running a little late. He joins in, and the first thing he does before he kills any bugs is he kills me point blank and says, "Whoops, sorry."
Don't start talking about team killing Beardo, okay?
Well, hold on. So I played with Hailstorm for the first time, and he put me in a hell dive for my very first match. And it was like
robots. Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
They were everywhere.
What the hell?
They were everywhere. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then our audience is really supportive. I had a $50 super chat, and they're like, Jeremy, just so you know, there's no friendly fire. There's no friendly fire in the game. And they're telling me all the wrong things to do. So
I literally was sitting on my couch, and I'm looking at my phone, and I look over at my wife, I go, I gotta go. And she's like, what? And I was like, I gotta go. And I jump on the Discord, I was like, Jeremy, don't do any of the things that were just told to you, please. He's like, what? They're giving good advice. I'm like, no, they're not. They want you to die.
Yeah, man, it's a phenomenal game. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Hailstorm put me in that match, and guess what? I'm obsessed with the game. So regardless of how fucked up it was, the game is it's an amazing game, and I'm hooked. So I can't wait.
Hell yeah.
What's up, Epic Mike?
Hey, how's it going? I'm so fucking glad you finally started playing Helldivers. Bro, the hype is real. Everybody I've ever talked to, they're like, I don't know, doesn't seem like it's my speed. I'm like, just try it. And they've played it, and now they're all addicted to it. The game is awesome. I've been having a blast with it. I can't stop playing it. And yeah, I'm so glad that Jeremy's obsessed with it now, so he can proselytize everyone else, so we can further the cause of democracy.
Dude, it gives you so much passion. Go ahead, Craig.
I'm downloading it right now.
Fuck hasn't already been downloaded.
We got him, ladies and gentlemen.
Instead of playing, look, you know me, Craig. All right, we're both big retro fans. All right, and you're only, hey guys, I'm going to Side Scrollers to play Donkey Kong Country 2. I'm like, bro, Helldivers is out.
Just play Helldivers.
Fuck your Donkey Kong Country 2. Okay,
just play Helldivers.
I got 100% it, man.
He'll understand when he's been baptized in the orange blood of the bugs.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there is no games. There is only Helldivers.
That's right. That's right. Mark the Cyborg returns once again. What's up, buddy?
And not a whole lot. I've recently started co-hosting a show called Metals Forge on Metal Commander's channel, but other than that, I've just been streaming and chipping away, talking about video games and stuff. Kind of what I do normally. But now I get to talk about movies and TV shows too.
Good to see you. Wait a minute. Tell me this is not. Is this true? Is this true?
Yeah, I heard that today. That is.
You haven't heard about this?
I couldn't believe it.
Oh, here we go.
No way.
Enough is enough about the Beardo slander. What are we doing?
Expose yourself.
Craig has not watched Lord of the Rings, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's.
I'm gonna go watch it in real time.
I cannot believe Gary allowed you on Friday Night Tights.
Expose yourself.
Okay, look, I'm married to X-Ray Girl. She's
go
seen
watch
nothing.
Lord of the Rings. What do you want? What do you want from me?
I want
you to watch Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Donkey Kong Country 2 and play Helldivers and watch Lord of the Rings. Put some hair on your ass.
I thought it was pretty clear what we wanted, Craig.
Wrap the hot dog around your waist and put it in your mouth. But you haven't watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, get yourself in 4K Blu-ray.
You act like a gamer word on the internet. You won't watch the best trilogy of all time.
And here's the thing: don't listen to Krigler. Watch the extended versions for all of them.
That is true. Beardo's correct.
Yes.
But obviously, just get the 4K Blu-rays, and they're each of the extendeds are 2 discs. So just over the course of a week, watch a disc a night.
Get on it,
or HBO Max has all of them.
Yeah.
HBO Max is all the extended versions.
For this movie, if you can get a 4K Blu-ray of it, do it. It's a great movie.
This is Chris's way of telling us to shut up. Hello, Stephanie, my nerdy home.
Hi, everybody. We are also live on local. So if you are a local supporter, come and chat with me in that chat. If you want to hang out with me over there.
There we
Yeah,
go.
we get a little personal over there. So
Yep. Oh God, what the hell?
become a local supporter. Hey,
Everybody's gonna
Come
jump
and
over
chat.
there now.
We get a little
Yeah, it gets
personal.
real personal around here.
How you
Every-
doing?
A little
Huh?
personal
Everybody-
over in the locals chat. Become a local supporter. Come hang out. And
every
also,
dude-
you know what?
Every
Mm.
dude not
I like
named
Timothy
Lofty is
Chalamet,
heading over
too.
there. Every
Yeah.
dude not named Lofty is heading over there. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Steph.
I like Timothy Chalamet too. I think he's
Yes.
yes. If you've seen him in
He's a good
Wonka, I,
actor.
when I saw him in Wonka, I was like, okay.
You guys, okay? Melanie and
Okay.
Stephanie. Well, hang on, Krista. Are you a fan of
I was
Timothy
defending
Chalamet
him.
as well?
I
We
don't
need
find
to
him
know.
attractive.
No.
Oh, okay.
I
I was about to say that because this stream, if it was all three girls, we're gonna say that you guys are gonna do more damage to like men than TikTok has, okay? Because they're all gonna try to be like Timothy Chalamet. So
specifically in Dune, like learn
Yeah.
from him in Dune, part 2, the latter half of that.
Yeah.
They don't like
I'm
Timothy
like, okay, you can
Chalamet.
play
They
a
like
lot,
Paul
let's go.
Atreides.
That's the real, yeah. But
That's
you know,
true.
wasn't he in like a Napoleon movie too?
Was he in
no,
that
he
Napoleon
played,
movie? Or
He's in
he was
Wonka.
in a
He's
movie
in
called-
Willy Wonka.
No,
He
he
was in a
played.
movie. He was in a movie called The King, and he
Well,
played.
there-
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever
actually
he
pretty good in
played
that.
there, that medieval, he had the same energy, just total boss, manly energy. Like he killed it.
Yeah,
I'm about
he
it.
surprised me. I've only ever seen him in the Dune movies, and I thought he was kind of okay in the first
He was
one.
in
I was like,
Interstellar.
not bad, but
Yeah, he
Was
was
he?
in Interstellar.
Yep.
all right.
He was the son.
He was the son in Interstellar
Yeah.
for about
Oh,
like
he
20
was?
minutes.
I
Really?
don't recall him from Interstellar, but
He was a
it-
very, very very small role. It was just a younger
yeah.
version.
He
I'm
was a
just
younger
saying, though,
version, but
after-
Casey Affleck was the.
Yes, yes.
the older version of it. Yes,
yeah.
but seeing him in Dune, I thought he was okay in the first one, but nothing special. I was like, I don't know why this guy's like the next big thing in Hollywood. But
you see
Dune 2, like again, the second he puts on the big boy voice, and if you've seen the movie, you know the scene I'm
Yes.
talking about. I
Yes.
was like,
Great.
I was
Yes.
markedly impressed.
Yeah,
It was like
great.
seeing. It was almost kind of like it wasn't the same thing. So before anyone freaks out at me about that, it was kind of like seeing Heath Ledger do like a Joker monologue that you're like, oh, so the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You is like a phenomenal actor, actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't think he was capable of that, but wow, I was wrong. And
That makes
that's
sense,
a good
though.
thing in this context. You know?
That makes sense. Okay, so we've got a couple of special guests tonight for the first time here on this channel. So first, we got the man who did an interview with us on geeksgamers.com, the man that created the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected group, which just hit 300,000 members. The legend himself, Kabrutus. Welcome to Geeks and Gamers, sir.
Hello, guys. Good night. Thank you for the invitation. I am no legend. I'm just a guy who likes video games. That's what I am. Okay.
Humble.
And that's why we love you, man. And that's why
Humble.
everybody's connecting with you, because I think you
He
said
said,
it.
"Al Gaib."
He said, like, what were you on? Was it side scrollers or Flash? I can't remember. But you were talking about how many followers you had when this started, and now where you are. Like, before you created the Steam group, how many followers did you have on Twitter?
Twitter, 40, 50. I only had my Twitter to follow some stuff that I really like. For example, some gaming outlets, not those outlets, but other good outlets.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone, because I mean I'm a huge fan.
Yep.
And some YouTubers, this kind of stuff. And I didn't really want to make that profile something, to make it big or anything like this. It had around 40 followers, just close friends. And then boom, I exploded, and I 24/7K right now. Yes.
Killing it, man. And so when I first came across you, I'd looked in because I was like, okay, who is this guy? Because you had shot me a DM on Twitter, and then because I think you did a reaction to my video, and then people had told you should reach out to me. Is that what it was? On your stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've made some streaming on my channel where I was just looking at what people were saying about me, and people were liking me, taking a look at those, and then someone told me, hey, you should talk to this guy.
Yeah.
D-Day Cobra. Yeah, he has a cool name. Okay, let me see what this guy's about. And then Geeks and Gamers, and then here we are.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and you did an interview with Alex, our editor in chief on the website, and I like the title of that one because the title of Kotaku's article was Sweet Baby Inc. isn't what gamers are saying it is, and our title was Sweet Baby Inc. is exactly what gamers think it is, and that was a good one right there. But yeah, man, welcome and congratulations on all of your success, and you being a humble guy is exactly why people like you. You know, you're not trying to do you said this to me when we were talking, and you said it in the interview with the Alex, but all you care about is gaming. You know, and gaming and being treated the right way and not being affected by all this nonsense. And I remember when you were reacting to my video, I think I was talking about a few things with Sweet Baby Inc. And then I think I was talking about the Act Man, and you were like, okay, I'm going to stop it there, guys. I'm not trying to get into no YouTuber drama. I'm going to stay away from that. So Act Man is a good YouTuber. He's a damn good YouTuber, by the way.
Yeah, he has some great videos.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. And yeah, man, so welcome in. Great to have you. And we also have, for the first time ever, Mark the Cyborg has been fangirling because of this. But we have...
Look, I grew up playing Blizzard games. It's pretty simple.
We have Mr. Grummz from the gaming industry, game developer, former Blizzard developer. How are you doing, Grummz? Welcome to Geeks and Gamers.
Where is he? Where'd he go? I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, I'm here though. I got a beef. Which one of you made fun of my Starfield tweet? The start screen tweet. Which one?
Oh, I did.
And I'm ready. I'm ready for the apology. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I don't know. I still think you were wrong there.
Your biggest fan here, and he got called out immediately.
I mean, yeah, man. Like,
you know what they say? Don't meet your heroes.
Yep.
All right. Like, if he hates me because of that, I think that's a shame.
My eyes are on you. I'm ready to start the stream now.
At the end of the day,
I know where everybody stands.
No, that's awesome, man. But yeah, Grubbs, you've been killing it lately. I mean, obviously you've been around forever, and it's really an honor to have you here. And I know you probably don't like hearing that type of stuff, but it is super cool because, you know, we're much like Kabrutus. I mean, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I've been blessed with a following that I don't think I deserve. And I'm just a stupid gamer, man. And I like movies, and I started bitching about Star Wars because I didn't like the direction it was going. Today helped prove me right on that point. Shout out to the Acolyte. But anyway, that's another discussion for another time. But yeah, we have a lot going on in the world of gaming right now. And one point I want to talk about really quick before we get into everything is I did make a tweet about this, and I want to put some context to it that I did talk to Matt Walsh after, you know, our back and forth on Twitter. And it really just was a couple of messages on DMs. I don't think you're going to see Matt Walsh hanging out with us playing Helldivers anytime soon. I don't think he's going to appear on a Mario Kart stream or anything like that. We basically I gave my perspective about why I feel the way I feel about his gaming takes. He kind of told me what his purpose was in terms of delivering the information to his audience, and he didn't mean to. He said point blank, like, I don't have a problem with, you know, guys that play video games and things like that. I didn't get into like further discussion about that. I just basically said, like, I don't think it's gonna do any favors for me and you to fight. So I just wanted to at least put the clarity out there, and we can go our separate ways. I ain't looking to collab with him or anything. If our paths cross, that's fine. But I just care about what Grummz talked about this in his tweet that did really well, but it's really about conservatives recognizing the importance of video games and the cultural impact that it has. And that's one thing that I've consistently seen from a lot of people on the right, where they just continue to disrespect video games and nerd culture. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge problem. And it's why we are continuing to have a lot of this stuff that we're seeing in the industry going on. But I'm happy that gamers, it's kind of the meme, gamers rise up, but gamers stood the hell up. You know what I mean? And the next day, because after I made the video, I was like, he doesn't know what he's done. He's had some TikTok weirdos pissed at him. Now he's pissed off gamers on another level. And then he kind of tweeted out, he's like, I've never faced backlash like this. I'm like, hey, don't disrespect gaming. And I did tell him, I'm like, hey, as a person that uses sarcasm like him, hopefully you can appreciate my sarcasm in my tweet, Russ. Like Matt Walsh is the first person that, you know, ever reported on the wokeness and video game stuff, but you know, it is what it is. How many of you have seen the RGT85 video that just was released about Kotaku and a PlayStation? You have? Okay, Craig, you've seen it. We may play that here, at least a couple of parts of it really quick. RGT85, who, by the way, and I just want to be clear, I'm not upset about it or anything, but he doesn't follow me on Twitter. Just want to point that out. All right. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not bothered by it. I just want to point out he doesn't follow me on Twitter. Anyway,
I was just DMing him actually. Because we're best friends. So, you know.
Must be nice. Must be nice. Must be nice. Well, speaking of, I might not get followed by RGT85, but I have one of the most positive people on the internet that follows me. And he's here. And his name is Ryan Kinel. Ryan returns to Tuesday night's main event. Holy shit. Ryan, how are you, buddy?
Well, I heard Eric July was going to be able to be here and need another black man for the stream. So I immediately decided to fill those shoes here, ready to rock and roll. What's going on, everybody?
What's up, man? So, yeah, so I'm sure you know Grummz and you know Kabrutus, Ryan. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so these guys have had center stage for the past couple of weeks with all this crazy nonsense going on.
Yeah,
dude, I've been watching your videos for over a year now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, thanks, man. That's awesome.
That is awesome. So,
I had no idea.
Yeah. See there, Ryan, all that toxicity, it's getting you some pretty important eyeballs on you. So, but yeah, so Ryan has not been on main event in a while because he does other things for Geeks and Gamers, like runs the entire sports channel over there for the most part. Beardo's been helping out a little bit when he decides to show up on the Sunday streams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had to give him a little jab. I saw Lethal say, yeah, Beardo's not here today. He's got a good reason. We're still going to make fun of him, though. So that's what we do around here. But yes, the RGT85 video, I want to play this because this just released, and it kind of just puts it into perspective, like what the gaming industry is kind of falling into right now with all of these people that are in the industry, with everything going on, and this just kind of brings more of it. Why do I not?
What happened with Craig? What happened with Craig right now?
I'm sorry. I'm reading this right now. I think this just came down.
What?
Did you see the IGN was trying to unionize?
No,
that was a while ago. I think.
Did they just lay off all their staff?
I think they just got all laid off.
What?
I mean,
hold on. I'm reading it right now. Just
share Okay.
Let me confirm. Just hold on. Let me confirm. Hold on.
All right, Ryan, go ahead and look into it too. See what you can find. And before we do that, since we're going to hold off on the RGT85 story so we can see what's going on with that. But we do have Linko Kenobi for a $200 super chat.
Let's go, baby.
$200. And says, what's up, guys? I'm a little upset because I got copyrighted because I was doing a reaction and also discussing my take on the Acolyte trailer and about George backing up Iger. And I had to redo only the trailer reaction, and I'm still upset. I need to play Helldivers 2 so I can feel better about myself. Why would you have got copyright claimed for the trailer? I don't really understand why you would have gotten copyright claimed for that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Is there Star Wars music in it?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to send me an email for the whatever they sent you, so I can look into it, but I don't know why they would. Ryan, have you done or Steph, you uploaded our reaction to it on the Clips channel. Did we get hit for anything?
No, we didn't get hit.
Okay, if you want to send me a screenshot of the email that they sent you, link, I would be happy to look at it. But there's no reason they should have claimed you for that at all, unless there's something else in there that you might have played. So I'll be totally willing to help you out on that. So send me a screenshot of the email that YouTube sent you with the copyright notice, and I can help you out with that. But
okay.
All right.
Sorry. So they didn't all get laid. 3 of them got laid off.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's not. It wasn't like the whole thing. I just saw laid off IGN and I got excited. So yes, only 3 of them been laid off, and what a damn shame it is.
Yeah.
Less video game journalists.
Well. As long as Greg Miller's in the video game industry, we still got battles to fight. So Greg Miller's the worst. God. He's just awful. But anyway, that would have Craig, you teased us a little bit.
Sorry,
that's
my
okay.
Yeah, that reaction was a little.
A little okay
the
there.
top.
Tomac
Yeah.
for 50 says,
50.
so I got a question for Kabrutus. How do you feel about Samuel Rodriguez and Metal Gear Rising as a fellow Brazilian?
Oh, the Jet Sam, right?
Yeah, Jet
The name of the character, Jet Sam. I'm not sure. I didn't play the game.
Mark knows everybody that plays everybody in a video game. So that's why I
well, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan, so that's probably the bigger reason for that one.
Yeah.
It's okay. I think it's a great example of Brazilian representation in gaming. Japanese developers have been representing Brazilian video games so well since the early 90s. I even made a video talking about this. For example, I love Blanca. We love those Brazilian characters that Japanese people just know. And of course, I do love this guy. If I intend to play this game at some point.
That's pretty good. It's a fun one.
And everybody loves him, right? Man, he must be a really cool guy. So
he's like the honorable villain. Like you have like kind of a good samurai showdown thing with him towards the end of the game.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. Before we, I do want to pull this tweet up from Grummz, so we could talk about this really quick. We'll get into the RGT stuff, but basically, I'm talking about this, but I also want to talk about the Verge article. So I saw you're the first person that sent the Verge article out, Grummz, I believe, talking about basically that hit piece. And they didn't talk to Kabrutus. Kabrutus, has any mainstream outlets that have wrote about this? Have they talked to you directly to get anything from you?
Yeah, actually, 2 of them tried to talk to me, but I just ignored them.
Okay. All right. So now, and that's the best way to do it, because all they're going to do is manipulate and everything. Now, when you ignore them, do they talk about, when they talk about the piece, have any of them talked about that the harassment campaign started with the employees of Sweet Baby Inc., or are they taking the more like approach of, gamers are harassing Sweet Baby employees?
Yeah, they completely omit the fact that Sweet Baby tried to start a harassment campaign against me, and they just pretend that, hey, I started a harassment campaign against them. That's what they say,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's laugh or lie. And I mean, and Mark called this out from the very beginning in terms of what the playbook would be, all the steps that we would see happen, because we've happened to have been through this, 10 years ago, of when it comes to gaslighting, when it comes to devs.
That's Grummz, Mark, not me.
Yes, exactly. Grummz, Mark, not Mark the Cyborg.
Yeah.
Mark the Cyborg's never had, anything of value to say, especially
I've got some okay takes.
but it's exactly the playbook we've expected. The difference between now and 2014, 15 era is that now games journalists are so much less respected than they used to be. So everything they put out, they're just getting annihilated with.
Well, and that's true. And that's the point of pretty much what Grummz is saying right here. And I guess the question is, the panel question, do you actually think we are looking at GamerGate 2? Do you actually think that's happening? Grummz, I want to throw that to you first. Do you actually think this is GamerGate 2? Do you think that's something that the media is trying to force into the equation? What do you think?
I think they would like it to be, because they really rode the clicks for that. That was, but it's a different time. And I think, I don't think this is GamerGate 2.0. I think it's a different set of issues, a different set of facts, but it comes down to one thing that is similar, which is this has always been gamers versus game journalists. And I don't think that's ever really been depicted clearly. This has always been gamers having the veil lifted over their eyes and realizing that game reporting is full of crap. And we realize, and I didn't know that. I was in the industry. I knew that, hey, we paid for some favorable press. That's a thing in the industry. We have parties where at fancy castles where we invite press over. We could influence press with ad buys. There was no editorial wall, but I had no idea the fabrication that was going on a day-to-day basis until GG1. And I think GG2, you're getting an even more awareness of it, because it's just so obvious now. We've had many years of the entire populace being woken up to news being partial to one or both sides, and no one's buying their stories now. So I think they would love it to be GG2, but it's not.
Absolutely. So, and well said on that. And I guess ultimately, I don't know if they can't, and the fact that they want it to be it shows how dumb they are, because it's not the same world as it was back when GamerGate happened. they had influence at that point in time. They had stature. They had voices. They don't now. YouTube, independent media, all of that are far more influential now than they were then. So they can't control the narrative like they did back then. What do you think, Craig?
He just muted himself.
I know.
Yeah, so I had to pause my Helldivers.
It's like maybe there's a fourth IGN guy fired. Maybe I missed that.
I got 2 mute buttons, so sometimes it happens to me. I got the
Yeah, well, I needed to pause my Helldivers 2 download. I just, like I said, didn't want to go robot mode. But yeah, you know, this whole thing has just been I've talked about this a lot on the show. The first time the first GamerGate happened, I was totally oblivious to it. I had no idea that it was happening. I heard it in the periphery, but I didn't know what it was about. And we've had some guests on the show, Short Fat Otaku. Dev really kind of gave me a good rundown of what the whole thing was about. And I got to be honest, if I was around 10 years ago, like, my background is in journalism. That's what I have my degree in. I've never said I'm a journalist. I'm not a journalist, but I know how to do it. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that bothers me in this whole thing is just the sheer omitted nature of facts, that you cannot call yourself a journalist if you're just going to blatantly omit facts. And that's the part that drives me the most crazy about this whole thing, is that, like, you can't deny, it's impossible to deny when that this whole thing started with a harassment campaign against Kabrutus. It's impossible to deny it. Or you could just totally omit it out of your story and pretend like it never happened. And so you can't call these people journalists. They're 100% activist, masquerading as so. And you know what Grummz was saying about the influence in the industry and paid influence and these big events to to kind of get sway with these different outlets, whether it's Kotaku and to a lesser part YouTubers at the time. It's always been there. I've seen it for many, many years, and that's why I want nothing to do with it. It's disgusting, and this is just showing all the warts on the ass of the video game industry. And you're right. There's zero power between Polygon, Kotaku, IGN. They're nothing anymore than 10 years ago. They mattered. Nowadays, Geeks and Gamers matter. Nerdrotics matters. Everybody on this panel matters way more than IGN ever will, way more than Kotaku ever will, way more than Polygon ever will. They're on the downslide. Everyone here is on the up. And that's what they're scared of.
Years ago, I used to go to IGN to see what reviews were out there. Latest game, latest breakdown, latest stuff. They had personalities that you actually knew. I don't know any personality at IGN right now. I know no actual personality. 10 years ago, there was personalities that actually, Greg Miller was one of them. I actually used to like Greg Miller when he was at IGN. Him and Colin Moriarty were fantastic when they were there, and they had an actual presence in the people there. You have a bunch of nameless people that no one actually cares about now. Who was about to go? Kabrutus, were you about to say something?
No.
Oh, somebody was about to talk. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Grummz. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just want to riff off what you just said. First of all, the quality of opposition is much poorer this time around. 10 years ago, I think you had really good writers, and they were able, when they put a spin on something, they were able to do it convincingly. And now you just have blind activists. I mean, the Verge reporters sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, I deliberately omitted these facts to the timeline because that would go against my assumption that Kabrutus is a racist," right? So you have writers now. I think because the industry has collapsed so much, because all the OG writers have left, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and because of their abandonment of meritocracy in hiring, I think you're getting really, really crappy writers now, and they are unable to sustain any sort of pushback. And that goes to Craig's point. I haven't seen anything on Twitter. GG1, when these reporters reported on stuff, I would literally get several thousand mentions of pushback in my Twitter per day. So much so I had to turn the phone off. I literally had to go walk outside because it was mentally crushing. Every time they posted an article, every time they mentioned me, it would be filled. Now it's crickets. absolutely crickets. All I get is the wonderful glow of gamers worldwide, and thank you for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I think when you look back 10 years ago versus now, even though the situation that kind of led to these things happening is different, there's like one thing that is very constant is this insidious relationship between journalists and developers linked hand in hand against gamers. Yeah. And like that was the problem that really set everything off, right? Oh, wait, you have this chick has all these interpersonal connections with these people who happen to review her game well and didn't disclose that. Well, that is an ethics issue. Let's talk about that. And then it obviously all spiraled and blew up into way more things about what had happened to the industry in general, what had happened to games journalism. But right now, those are the two things that I see. Those guys linked arm in arm, and they're willing to go down on the Sweet Baby Inc. ship. But the difference is this time everyone knows. Yeah.
They had such an easy catalyst for their arguments last time, where it was like, oh, because it was like Aaron's post on, I think it was Reddit, where like the Zoe post went up, and that it became this thing that the mainstream could use to say, oh, it's all these people that just hate women. They hate this woman. They're talking about this women having multiple sex partners in this industry, and they're such prudes that they can't handle it, so they just hate women. Whereas there's nothing that they can point to like that this time, and they've been trying to do it, I think, with Kim Bel-Air, saying that you just want to destroy a company made by a black woman or something. I'm like, I don't think people are buying that really, though, because it's like, well, she's not the only one who founded that company, and it's not like her in particular I think anyone has a problem with. It's, at least for me, it's just the whole idea that gaming developers or game developers who could be making games that I love and might sometimes still might be getting pushed around by these consultancy agencies in a way that I think might not be great for them either, even though a lot of them seem to be pretty okay with it. So
what do you think, Melanie?
Honestly, I just kind of echo what everyone else is saying here, that the journalists don't have power anymore. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But I think in terms of like society in general, people are really tired of being preached at with all of this woke ideology and stuff. And in this case, they mess with gamers. They mess with the characters that we love. And they're messing with us. They're telling us we're bad people. They're telling us that journalists, a lot of gaming journalists hate video games and they hate gamers, and they're taking out their frustrations on gamers in the articles that they write. And they've used their platforms and their job titles to push their message and their ideologies more than, because they don't really care about games as a whole. And so gamers are we're used to being rejects. We're used to like not always being among the mainstream and popular crowd. So we can handle rejection. We can handle standing up against all this stuff. It's not the first time that we've been picked on.
That's very true. And I guess Kabrutus, so I know you've probably said this on multiple shows that you've been on, but like, what are you ultimately hoping comes from this, from your perspective in the gaming world? What are you hoping happens over the next couple of years from the gaming perspective to kind of result from everything that's happened?
Yeah, ultimately, I want the developers to start respecting us as consumers, as gamers, and I want gamers to remember that we can always talk with our wallets. We can always choose what we want to buy, what we want to spend our time doing. And this isn't wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong. I am 100% sure of that. So yeah, I want this to become some kind of a symbol, something like this, that they can just remember that time where a company tried to crush a fellow gamer, and all the gamers united. We formed this beautiful community, and we want them to remember that they should respect us. They should treat us well, because we are the ones who buy these games. We are the ones who love this hobby. That's the only thing I want.
Mm-hmm.
Such an unreasonable, toxic alt-right standpoint. And this is racist. I know it's absolutely crazy. I mean, so that is at its core. Now, Mike, I know you've kind of did some, checking up on like the first GamerGate, because again, people think that I was part of GamerGate 1. I didn't know what the fuck GamerGate was, and then I started criticizing Star Wars, and I had all these left-wing outlet saying, "Oh, the GamerGate people are now attacking Star Wars." This guy from Geeks Gamers, I was like, I had nothing to do with GamerGate. What are you talking about?
Like, yeah. Must have been part of it.
yeah. So what do you think about all this?
I mean, GamerGate.
Like
it's even the initials are GG. Like, I mean,
I know.
Obviously it was inspired by GamerGate.
Yeah. Like, I mean, anytime you have anything become popular and they notice that there's a cultural movement or a shift towards it, you ultimately are going to have to deal with people that try to infiltrate that, because they want to be part of it, because they want the accolades, they want to be, well known, and they want to be popular. We're seeing it also in like the tabletop community with D&D and what Wizards of the Coast has been doing, with trying to, remove things from from D&D, from the history of it. Now you have games journalists talking about how toxic the history of D&D has always been, because it was white men that started it, and so obviously it's a terrible thing and stuff. It inevitably it's gonna happen, and gamers, and this isn't a fault of them, they were focused on playing video games. They never thought that there would be a day where these people that were writing articles about games were going to be attacking them, and they never thought that there would be a day where they were going to be working alongside game developers and going into these offices and going into these headquarters and saying, "Hey, why isn't there more of this in your games, or why isn't there more of that in your games, or why aren't you doing this, or hey, we need to monitor how people are talking on video games because I got yelled at one time in a Modern Warfare lobby and I didn't like it," and stuff like that. And you have it just ballooned to a place where when people finally started noticing it, it had already been too late. Like there'd already been, the corruption had already seeded in. And I think it's kind of it's one of those things now that going forward, I think a lot of people will be a lot better educated about it and look for that stuff. And the fact is, these people need something to justify their jobs, because they know that once gamers realize what they're doing, once somebody goes, "Hey, I'm going to point out to you," like what Kabrutus did, "I want to just point out to you how deep the rabbit hole really goes on this stuff," people will start to respond with their wallets and with their time and all that stuff, and then these people will lose their jobs. And that's all they're doing. It's just backpedaling so they don't lose their jobs. They're trying to hide. I said it on a tweet, these roaches are scattering now, and if we let up right now, they're just going to find some other place to hide for a little while. They'll die down. Sweet Baby Inc. is just one of many other companies that are out there. It's like, but if we keep this going, we could actually see like a shift in gaming, because these companies are already struggling in some places, and these games journalists and these journalists, like these companies, are struggling really hard. Kotaku's had to restructure like 4 times now in the last like 10 years and stuff. They constantly are shuffling around people and hiring new people, trying to figure out how to stay relevant. So if we just stop, like, don't let up on these people, I really do see that a lot of them are going to close and go out of business. And then you're going to have people that are actually gamers that go, "You know what? Hey man, like I think I'll get into this. I'll start talking about it," because gamers just want to hear about games. They don't want to, they want to watch reviews that they think are honest and real, and they want to hear people talk about and give their opinion on games that have actually played the games, instead of going, "Why is this game so hard? Why isn't there an easy mode? When is FromSoft going to make an easy mode for us people? Because we don't like playing these games." It's like, people don't care. Like, they want to know that you actually.
You need to use that voice more often when playing games, by the way.
Yeah,
it would be a lot better on everybody's post-game headache when you're just yelling the whole time,
screaming at the top.
But can I interrupt you for a very important message? Kevin, for $300.
Dang.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And this is for Mike. So Jay's always bragging that the Super Chats have his name.
Yeah.
Look whose name's in that one. I'll let you read that one, Mike.
I haven't seen a $300 one for Jay. Kevin says, "Mike, don't even get me started on the tabletop world. It is so much worse. It has been so badly infected." Oh yeah, it's fucking awful right now. I mean, the way that Wizards of the Coast is trying to just completely wipe history, and the fact that they're also with their Magic the Gathering, they did the Black Aragorn, and like all the the Rohirrim are black now, and all this stuff is nuts. But that's the thing. Anytime anything becomes popular, you're gonna have bad faith people that get into it and they pretend like they know anything about it. And Ripa's called this out with comic books and stuff. They just read the wiki entries on this stuff and they pretend they know what the fuck they're talking about. These people couldn't run a game. They barely play D&D, and if they are playing D&D, it's basically shitty fanfic where they're just like sitting around in a coffee shop with their friends pretending that they're elves and wizards and stuff. And
and that's why we have a tabletop channel for Geeks and Gamers called Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. Erudai does a great job over there. Mike talks a lot of shit with him. But
yes, you do.
Yeah. So again, and we're always trying to expand. And that was Erudai came to me and Ryan years ago, and he was just he told us about it. And I remember I was like, Ryan, I don't think I'm gonna bring him on. Not because I didn't like Erudai. I was like, I just can't deal with another channel. I don't like Erudai either. But it was more like we liked the idea. But Ryan's like, dude, you got to do it and just let him run the channel.
I've been muted.
Thanks for unmuting to tell us you were muted. Go ahead.
It's not even just as games got popular, as tabletop got popular, you started to get a huge influx of people in who maybe didn't even play the games, but are more spectators of the games, right? Definitely the case with D&D and Critical Role, but in development too, and in tech, not just in games, as games started to make money. Because I got into this industry when, hey, I went to Macworld and Bungie's selling Marathon in a Ziploc bag. The founders are at a folding table, right? Yeah. And nobody played games. We were all doing it for the passion. But as soon as money got into it, shit fell apart. I mean, the suits came in. That's for one thing, right? But you also got a lot of Klingons, right? People who come in and just want the aura of games. And this is when GDC changed. Game Developer Conference that's happening right now.
Yep.
I stopped going because there were these people that were going in there just because of the rock stardom aspect of it, and they were like the smarmiest type of people who weren't genuine, and they infiltrated gaming. They're all over there, and usually in DEI, usually in HR, marketing, these sort of soft tech areas is where you see it the most, and that changed everything.
That's awesome.
Well, one thing I think, and I'm talking to myself here as much as anyone else, but I think in the gaming world, we could do a much better job of highlighting independent games because there's so many good independent games out there. Correct. There's so many, and people don't understand the indie gaming scene. You're looking at like independent comics, independent movies. The indie gaming scene is crushing it right now. It doesn't get highlighted enough. And that's one thing I've talked about with like geeksgamers.com, where I want us to have a section where we can highlight indie games a little more, because there's no place where you can go. Like, I'm sure most of you remember, if you're as old as me and Craig anyway, like reading Electronic Gaming Monthly and Game Pro back in the day, like, you read that so you can watch and go, okay, this is what's going on. We don't have that in the gaming world right now for the indie scene that I know of. Maybe
you do. It's on YouTube. Like, you just got to follow YouTubers that play a lot of indie games.
Well, that's what I'm saying though.
Who's good at what genres
and that's what I'm saying though, is terms of like even us on the website, bringing that into one place where people can find one place for those YouTubers that are covering it. You know what I mean? Like honing it down to like a central place where we can like, here's where all the interesting gaming stuff is. This YouTuber's covering this, YouTuber's covering that, but it's all kind of spread out, which is most of the internet is anyway. You know what I mean? But it's where the places like the IGNs of the world and the Kotakus, they're more worried about activism than just highlighting great games. You know what I mean? Like I made the mistake one time of talking about the Nintendo Switch and how Nintendo Switch has sold a shit ton of first party titles, no doubt about it. But I felt like it was probably like 90% that it was like first party titles of all their software. And I don't think that's actually true, because the indie games on the Switch are insane.
Yeah, because
the amount of people. Yes, and they're accessible, very cheap and very successful.
You don't have to buy in with very much money to try a game you hear a few good things about. If it's like a $20 indie game, because especially on Steam, if you see a $20 indie game that looks kind of interesting to you and you put it on your wish list, it's going to be like $4 on sale, maybe now because the spring sale's on. So, like, I mean, you can play more games because you don't have to put up nearly $100 to buy one when they're at that level.
You said that the indie games are cheap on Switch, and I agree, but something's not cheap. Thomas Ryan for $300.
Damn!
Hey, Jesus Christ.
and says,
Jay got
"This
his
is
revenge."
for Jay. I am grateful for the journalists at IGN and Kotaku who have jumped the shark so hard it made me look for reviews and opinions elsewhere. I ended up watching Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and I turned to YouTube and Unbiased for unbiased and real reviews." And that's what they're going to continue to do. And again, we're not going to EFAP the whole video, but we're going to talk about what the video that RGT uploaded a little while ago. And we're going to pull a little bit of that up, talking about how the PlayStation employee and the Kotaku article, or the Kotaku writer, Alyssa, basically were trying to get people to stop following him, stop supporting him, because he literally left a meme that said, it was like an Asian girl meme. She's like, holding a megaphone, it says looking for attention or something. That's what he responded with Alyssa. And so you've got a PlayStation employee basically saying, stop following people like this. He's like a PR person or something with PlayStation. And of course, RGT, he's clickbaiting it, which he should be. And he's also saying, like, he's doing the thing that I did years ago when I would first be accused of like being racist and sexist and all this shit. I'm like, well, I have a black friend and I have a girl on my stream. I can't be racist. And all they'll say is they just use them for their shield. And that's what he's kind of doing in his video. Like, I have a black friend. I have women friends. I can't be this. They don't care. They don't care.
Yep.
They literally don't care. It doesn't matter.
Appropriated an entire Asian family.
That's why I think the best strategy, if they're like,
right there, yeah.
If they're like, oh, you're a bigot, you're racist, it's like, yep.
Yeah.
Just agree with them. Like, then they can't hurt you.
And that's the thing, like Grummz, you know, and of course anybody else can hop in at any point in time. But like, how have you seen, like, how impactful has it been in the industry for the rise of independent media over the last 10 years or whatever, from your perspective? Have you seen it have any impact on the industry yet? Or do you think that we're still going to see that have more of an impact? What do you think?
Like, we used to be very focused on, web media and print media, right? So this is where the dollars went. You'd buy basically magazine takeovers, or you'd buy banner ads, or you'd buy site takeovers where they theme the whole front page. And then every time a reporter wanted to do an interview, you sort of jumped. Even at Blizzard, it's like, okay, we take this very seriously. Now you don't really care if a gaming reporter is giving you gruff. I mean, Nintendo will cut you off, right? So it didn't used to be that way. The power play was a little more even back then. But as stuff shifted to Twitch and shifted to YouTube, and by the way, I was probably the first exec that noticed that change happening, back in the Firefall days. And I know this because I would be hiring marketing directors, and I went through one after the other. These were top people, EA top people, Activision top people, and all they understood was banner ads. The problem with marketing departments is that they only know the current thing, and they have a budget, and they got to spend all that budget. And if they don't spend all that budget, they lose money. Their budget is cut next year. And so all they want to do is do banner ads. I said, no, we have to start a studio called Stage 5, and we've got to start doing YouTube videos, and we're going to be the sponsor of all of our content. And we're going to go on Twitch. We're going to integrate Twitch. We were one of the first games to integrate Twitch directly into our game, and we got tremendous metrics from that. But the marketing department, I had a tremendous battle with them, because even though we had 10 times as much traction, even back then with YouTube and Twitch, they couldn't see it, and this was a big problem. So, of course, as soon as that took off, and it became common wisdom that you need to go to YouTube, that you need to go to Twitch, they all hopped on board at that point. But it completely changed. But there's going to be another big thing, and these people are still going to be stuck on whatever the meta is at the current time. Yeah, it's a marketing meta. That's what I'll call it.
Yep, very well said. And before we move on, I just saw this on Twitter, and I do want to highlight this really quickly. It's going to derail us here for a second, but we got to highlight this. Alex, who has been in and out of the hospital for a while, and we've been following his journey. He's a huge fan of Geeks and Gamers. He sent this tweet out. It says, finally home from 5 months in the hospital. How long would it take me to get from Orlando to Jacksonville in my wheelchair for the Orlando meetup? LOL 199. So I just want to, I'm sure Alex is watching right now. Man, I'm so happy that he's home. Alex has been through a lot, so just want to send good vibes out there to Alex. We appreciate you, brother. If you're watching, we wanted to highlight this, and I'm sure everybody in the chat will have nice things to say to Alex. So, man, we appreciate you. Keep grinding, brother. That is.
I mean, if I'm going to give him a guess, though, I need to know the top speed and acceleration of that thing.
and Mark will break it down to down to the detail. He really will.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to see that Alex is home, and man, GG's for you, buddy. Man, that's crazy. Okay, so let's pull up a little bit of this RGT video really quickly, and I want to watch just a little bit of it because this is they're gonna keep doing shit like this. They're gonna keep. I fast forwarded just a little bit. Again, RGT like. He typically does not cover. I'm sure most of you watch RGT or know of him, but he doesn't cover. Like he'll cover a controversial topic, but he's usually just talking about Nintendo Switch news or calling himself the king of Xbox or calling himself the king of PlayStation. He doesn't really give a shit about this, like a lot of the controversial stuff, like us. But yet here he is, caught up in it.
Rock with it. Some people didn't. Hey, that's what's cool about the internet. You don't have to agree with every single person. Now, the author of this article blocked me on Twitter because I made a joke or two. And it's funny because
what is that noise? Is that on mine? Do you guys hear that?
What?
I don't hear anything.
I don't know what I hear.
She made the article. I looked at her Twitter later on in the day and she was like, oh, I'm having such a good time making these people mad at me. Buy me a drink. Here's my Cash App. And then she privated her account because I guess she couldn't handle the heat. It's like, can you handle the heat or you can't handle the heat? But I basically responded to her making a silly tweet, in my opinion, that I'm going to bring up right now. Like I said, very raw, very real, very uncut. And this was the situation. This is what actually got me blocked. If you aren't sure this is a harassment campaign, take a look at the content. Look at how many sock puppet accounts flock to comments on posts. Look at the language in those comments. Look at the images they're sharing, the way they're manipulating pictures of women. And then I shared this little gif of attention, I am a victim. Because in my mind, that's what she's trying to, she's making it about herself. It's not about the story. It's not about the Sweet Baby Ink people. It's now about me.
So all he did was a gif. It's all he did, and that's what has led to what we're going to see here in just a second.
Because I said that this wasn't a problem, when in actuality, there's actual proof of this being an issue. Once again, I want to remind you that this whole thing started because Sweet Baby Inc. employees tried to take down a list of their games that was put up on Steam. They tried to false flag this. So harassment started with them, but that's okay because they're in the right in this situation and they're holier than thou. But here's where things get ridiculous. You want to block me? Cool, that's fine. I don't care. I've been blocked by a ton of people. But when people start chiming in, and then I look into who these people are, it gets a lot more interesting. So this person, Mike Diver, made a tweet on March 12th saying, I know a lot of folk in retro gaming circles follow this guy, but maybe you want to not follow him. Actually, posting this sort of thing says everything about the kind of audience he wants, and you're better than that. And the girl from Kotaku retweeted this. So this dude is trying to say, hey, don't rock with this guy. Don't follow this guy.
And you see that right there? Web Things at PlayStation is who Mike Diver is. Do you know anything about Mike Diver outside of this video, Craig? I know you watched it. So
cancel pig.
Yeah, he's just a generic PR guy. I don't know. What do you say to these people? Like, they clearly have an agenda. They clearly want to put their chest out and say, look at me, look at what a great person I am. Look at what an ally I am for, it's like, get over yourself, fuckers.
Well, the attempt has been, just like we've seen a lot of these kind of cancel culture things from these people that feel like they're in power. It's, hey, if you don't have the right opinion, we're going to do everything you can to convince you that you need to shut the fuck up about it. And even Alyssa Mercante, a day or two after she published that very first Kotaku hit piece, she put out a little post that basically said, silence will not save you.
Yes.
Encouraging journalists, encouraging developers to stand up and speak out about all this, because if you don't, we're not gonna fucking forget it.
Yes,
this is straight out of the GG1 playbook. I mean,
exactly.
They would say that silence is complicit, right?
Yep.
So you have to speak up, and they would try to shame people with that, and they would try to claim that there were all these sock puppet accounts that were angry, and it was originally that GamerGate was only 300 people. They revised it upwards to 10,000 later, but they said it's 300 people and a bunch of bots. When actually that was projection. The ones, if you look at the data, it was Randy Harper and Lego Butts, which is actually an SBI employee who would go out and have sock puppet accounts and literal alt accounts to generate their own self harassment, their own bot network, and I don't know who was funding them, but I guess the funding dried up because I don't see that. Or Twitter's much better at bot crackdown. I know that they kept nuking a lot of accounts, but I don't see that anymore. But it's never been sock puppets. The sock puppets were always on the other side.
Yep, exactly. Go ahead.
Speaking of the silence thing, I've been very vocal about. I think I was the first person to reach out to Alyssa Mercante to come on Side Scrollers. I had a tweet about that. Her response was simply just pass. It was like she wrote a one-word response, really like arrogant. She wants to talk about silence being violence, right? Her not coming on Side Scrollers and speaking it really offends me, and I really think she's racist because I think she's only done an interview with black people, and it really upset me. Her silence is violence.
It upset you that she chose black people over you, Craig.
Well, she's only talked to black people, Ryan, and I think that she's kind of racist because of it.
Well, she's racist because she said you can't be racist, or what was that? White people can't experience racism. That was what she said.
She might be a chocolate chaser too.
Mike is half black. He can make that joke.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out.
She might just be, she might have just been like, "Oh man, a bunch of three black dudes want to talk to me. Yeah, I'll take that."
Wasn't she tweeting at Hassan, like trying to get his
desperately?
attention?
Dude, she was desperately like, because I think Hassan talked about her something on a stream, and she kept tagging and be like, "Hassan, when are you going to invite me on so we can actually talk about this harassment campaign that's going on?"
Yeah. YouTubers and streamers don't have influence yet. I'm begging this guy who has a streamer to have me on so he can sway influence. It's amazing how that works. Go ahead, Ryan.
I don't know what. I mean, I know what Hassan's audience will think. They'll think exactly whatever he tells them to think. But
I was saying, like, he discredits himself like once a week. I have no idea what they think.
But yeah, so again, and RGT gets into the rest of it. I actually have a video reacting to the rest of this, but it is interesting how that's playing out, and I think that that's a little insight into how this industry is going to continue to respond to different people out there. I mean, RGT is not if they got a problem with RGT, can you imagine what they're going to think when they see Ryan Kinel's video? I mean, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to take it to another level. But now, Kabrutus, with everything that's happened with Steam and all of that, like, has anyone in the industry, and you don't have to name names or anything, but like, have you heard from people in the industry reach out to you and talk to you about like, hey, we appreciate what you're doing, you know, don't mention us, or have you had any of those interactions yet up to this point?
You mean developers?
Yeah, developers or anyone from that perspective.
I have something really interesting to say. I didn't talk about this to anyone, but right now we are investigating a game. I mean, after I just added a new game to the list yesterday. It is a game called Unknown 9. You know, I just got proofs that, this game is actually involved with SBI, so it's on my list. But right now I'm talking with another developer. It's a developer of a game called Flintlock something. I don't remember the name of the game. It's a game that it stars a black girl character, you know, pretty SBI standard stuff. Mm-hmm. And the developer is claiming that, we are in talks to him, you know, we are trying to reach an agreement because they said that, SBI worked in this game back in 2022, but since then, I rewrote everything, I removed everything that they have added to the game, and we would like for you to not feature the game on the list. And we are trying to make an agreement with him. We need to investigate it further because I really want to. I want the developers out there to know that I'm at their side. You know, I'm at their side, but I'm also at my community side, the gamers side. Gamers and developers, we need each other. We need we need each other. So I'm at both their sides. If you are a video game developer and you just want to develop a good game, without bullshit, no on it. With a game that do not try to say that we are monsters and do not try to re-educate us. We are at your side, So yeah, I will have to investigate the game further and make an agreement with them. I'll have to see. But I mean, I just, yeah, he's one of the developers that reach out to me. I have some other people that works in some of those outlets saying that, hey, what you're doing is great. Some people that don't want me to reveal their identity, and so of course I'm not going to do this. But yeah, we have even more people than I imagined.
Oh, go ahead and finish. But I've got some advice for developers after you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're way better than me to give them advice. I mean, I just want to say, I just want to make it clear that developers and gamers, the Sweet Baby stuff, my whole community, our whole community, and even you guys here too, I'm 100% sure, we are at your side, we are on your side. And we just want good games. We just want you guys to respect us. And we're gonna buy your games, but it better be good. It better be good, okay?
Exactly. I mean, like Helldivers 2 is a classic example of that. Okay.
Yes, it's my favorite game right now, bro.
It's not like they're running around with MAGA hats on in the fucking game, and they said no to LGBT. They basically like, we don't want any of the political bullshit in our game. It's a satire game that's overly like. It's almost like satire it's almost like with Starship Troopers, you know what I mean? Like it's satire,
yes,
like freedom, democracy, and let's go kill bugs.
Power of 5.
This is why I love Helldivers. I'm a fan of Helldivers since the first one because I'm a huge fan of sci-fi stuff, Marines stuff, Starship Troopers. This is why I'm a huge fan of StarCraft back in the day because of the Marines, the Terrans. I love Warhammer 40K, for example. So yeah, it's pretty much this. You do not have to say, hey, Brazilian people, we welcome you for us to feel welcome there. We don't need to hear this, It's standard stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you could make the argument that Kerrigan was alien hot girl propaganda.
Well, like,
nice.
Even with Helldivers, like one of the things too, they've been very active on social media since the game came out. Like when the game was like crashing because too many people were playing it, the CEO was like, "Hey, if you bought this or like are thinking, wait until we have the I don't want you to spend your money and not be able to play." The fact is, like, developers when they were working on the mechs would just drop into people's games and like and play full missions with people. And like the CEO at one point with there was a YouTuber that was streaming. He dropped into his stream with the guy and like they played a game together and he talked to the guy about some of the ideas and plans they had for. So they're treating gamers like the customer base that is going to buy their game instead of trying to pander to other people or, oh, who can we get to write an article about this? They're like, hey, people can write whatever articles they want, but when you and when you look in like there was an issue, I guess, with at one point with I think the Discord or something where some of the like somebody that was in development got in an argument with like some players about something they didn't like or something. CEO even spoke about that. He goes, "Man, I'm kind of disappointed. We shouldn't be fighting each other. Like we're fighting for democracy." And even though it's like a joke, it's funny because the game is built around people unifying and working against like a bigger issue, and that's how they're treating the community too. And I don't know. To me, that's a example of how you're supposed to do it right. And we're seeing examples recently of developers doing it right, whether it's just FromSoft releasing games that they know are quality and they just do their thing, or Nintendo marching to the beat of their own drum and making games, or then you get studios even like that are kind of leaning more towards like leftist and woke ideologies with like Larian Studios, but here they are constantly updating their games, constantly listening to gamer feedback about things and supporting their games and not just saying, oh, whatever, who cares if the game doesn't work like you want it to or whatever and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of examples, and then if you look back on all those different games, what are the commonality as a game journalist shitting on those games? Well, don't expect games to be like Baldur's Gate 3, okay? That's not fair for everybody else.
Such a piss off.
Like, oh, don't. I was like, why not? What about, one of my favorite things about Elden Ring? Guys on there going, well, what about disabled people that can't play those games? And then gets in an argument with Mark about on Twitter. And Mark goes, I'm disabled. And then he just deleted all his stuff. He just deleted his stuff and stopped talking to Mark. And he was like, oh, fuck.
Why did I see this? Why didn't I see this?
It was so
we have
good.
screenshots. Do we have screenshots of this?
I keep the cripple card in the deck, but I'm not about playing.
I don't have any screenshot, dude. It was so funny because he was like going off on Mark about like disabled people. He goes, "You don't know what it is," and Mark goes, "I am disabled." And the guy just stopped responding.
I'm pretty sure I also posted my Half-Life Alex review because it's a VR game.
Yeah, Mark's like, not only am I a cripple, but I'm also autistic.
That's right.
Dude,
Beware.
I wish you guys would get me like. So he deleted his whole account. Is that what he did?
No, he deleted the entire post though.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He was like, "Oh," then he just stopped talking. And
Oh my
deleted
god,
everything.
that's fantastic.
Dude, it was so fucking funny.
We're not racist because we have another black person on the panel. Malcolm Flex in the house. What up, Malcolm?
Shut up.
How's it going? How's it going, guys? I'm glad to even out the ratio. Now we got 1.5 black people on here. I think we have met all quotas.
I see you just ignored me, Malcolm.
No.
But all right, let's I know Grummz, you had a point on the game development side, and when Kabrutus was talking, go ahead and hit that.
So I've had some developers reach out too, but Kabrutus, if they're reaching out to you and say, "Hey, we took SBI out, please remove us from your list," I got a tip for them. They need to tell gamers that directly, because if they do, I guarantee you the visibility and the sales of their game are going to spike super hard.
Yeah.
If you're the first one that says we're withdrawing from SBI, come out and say that. Don't do this secret stuff, right? Because I know for a fact that some of them that are pulling from the list are doing it because the publisher says we don't want to be associated. You don't have to get rid of SBI, but just have them remove you from the website or don't add you in the following year. That's also what's happening. But yeah, any developer that is done with SBI, be proud, say it. Yeah, you don't have to like bash them or anything. Just say we're no longer working with SBI. We appreciate their consulting, but it's no longer necessary. And people will go nuts and be like, "What game is this?" And that would be my advice to them. So if you're getting
Really
someone like
advice.
that, let them know that advice.
That's really
it's
good
money
advice.
in the bank.
And the reality is, obviously, there's so much of it has been focused on Sweet Baby Inc., but we know there's a multitude of other ones out there. We know the Gamer X, we know the Black Girl Gamers or whatever. Like, all of these firms do the same thing on a different level consulting-wise. But the reason that they exist is because they're getting hired by the developers. You know what I mean? Like and obviously they do everything in their power to have employees strong arm people to get what they want in there. But it's not just about the consultants. It's about these devs that want to push this as well, that they're working hand in hand with.
And that ties in with bloat in the AAA industry, because what you had is
there we go.
As the money came in and teams got larger, you unfortunately got a lot of office politics, and this hit Blizzard pretty hard. And I know a lot of my my ex dev friends at Blizzard were very disillusioned because every department was fighting to grow the number of people that it had so it could have more power in meetings and dynamics of office politics. And this was a very toxic environment that really gets away from game development. So the way these activists get in is there's a lot of cronyism hiring going on, and these teams have gotten really bloated, and it's really interesting to see now that they have to trim down if that's going to survive.
Yeah.
Well, I think if there's any major shift we're going to see in the next, so let's say 5 years, because there's probably a lot of games in the pipe that are still going to end up happening with their incredibly bloated teams. But I think that all the big games not selling as well as they could be, and then smaller games like Helldivers or even smaller ones like Lethal Company just blowing up, I think that more and more publishers are probably going to want to be greenlighting games which have a tighter budget and can be achieved really, really well with just a few simple concepts, as opposed to trying to make every game the only game that you ever need to play again.
Yes.
And, I honestly think that will result in more better games, because you'll have smaller teams with fewer cooks in the kitchen, less bloat, and more people just focused on making a good video game.
That's what I've been
here.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see that so bad. I mean, with Tomb Raider specifically, me being a massive Tomb Raider fan. Why?
Wait, you're a Tomb Raider fan, Melanie?
A little bit.
Go ahead.
The last trilogy had over $100 million budget games. That's not necessary. Tomb Raider doesn't need $100 million budget, and the remasters have proved that even with their success. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that if Baldur's Gate, I think, should have taught the industry anything too, it's that publishers should get a lot more comfortable with the early access model, because I think when you can get a group of passionate people who really like the idea of your game playing it for 3 years and telling you what they like about it and what they don't like about it, you can still, like, obviously they've proven that you can still launch that game in 1.0 and have it become the biggest game of the year, even though people have been playing it for 3 years. I made a lot of
Baldur's Gate 3, a lot of gamers bash early access.
Like, yeah, and it's not a bad concept. It's
And
like, hey,
I'm telling you,
help us
support
make
this, because that's the only way we're going to get the games that we want, because we're not going to get this from traditional funding. We have to go out to the market early, and with the building of the community and the feedback we get from early access is invaluable to getting that game to be good. And I think it's a beneficial relationship either way. And listen, if the game sucks, it's just not going to sell well, and early access isn't going to go well. Okay, that's the market speaking. But don't bash early access and say it's a money grab for these smaller studios. I mean, obviously, for EA doing an early access, that's different. But I think it's vital, and I think we should embrace early access as a way to get involved with influencing development and funding these smaller studios.
Well said. Malcolm, you had something?
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, to the point with the whole bigger teams issue, and that's really, when you have those huge budgets, you get a lot of chefs in the kitchens, like they were saying. Imagine how many good ideas that were, proposed by people that actually probably liked the properties that they were working on a little bit more, that got shot down because, you had all of these consultants, brought in, or, sort of these new age special interest group hires that basically said, no, they don't want that. We got to do something better. Like, imagine how many of your games that you really like that were turned to shit because one person that knew what he was talking about, and I will say she, again, gotta be politically correct, but that knew what the fuck he was talking about, got told by a bunch of these black girl developers. And I'm not even saying the problem is like black girls, but there's this whole movement of black women in tech, black girl magic, and all that stuff. I know, source, trust me, bro. But there's a whole bunch of these people. And they'll shout you down and like tell you, no, you're wrong. We need to do this. We need to do that. And sometimes those situations turn all the games you love into shit. Like that's literally what happened with the Halo franchise at one point. Once they transitioned off of 3.
Don't bring up the painful memories of how far Halo's fallen. Shout out to that TV show, though. Really great.
They didn't make a TV show about Halo. I don't know.
They did.
There was a weird porn parody, and they tried to make a sequel to the porn parody, and it was awful.
God,
I've been watching it with the EFAP guys, and it's fucking horrible. I'm sorry.
It's a stupid fucking show. It's awful.
Really, really bad.
Why would you do this?
It's so bad that no one's talking about it. Like, that's how bad it is. Like,
every week they find a new way to make the show worse. And like one week everybody was like, wow, there's this really cool action, and then the next episode nothing happened. Like literally, it was just like everybody stood around talking to each other.
Does he still have his helmet off like constantly?
He hasn't worn his armor until the last episode.
His armor's been stolen by Oni. It was stolen right before the fall of Reach.
He takes it off in episode 2, and he doesn't put it back on.
Oh, and the best episode of the series is the Fall of Reach episode, where none of the Spartans are wearing armor, and they give a grenade launcher to a blind man. Grenade launcher to a blind man.
And then he gets it back and he doesn't put his helmet on. He's still walking around with his fucking helmet off. Had to look at Pablo Schreiber's stupid fucking face every time I watch this stupid fucking show. I don't want to see his face.
You don't give an AoE weapon to a guy who can't see, okay?
Mark, are you against crippled men shooting rocket launchers?
Yes. No, if you're blind, you should be a guy holding a shield, and that's it.
They gave a grenade launcher to a blind gay albino black guy in the show. And I'm not making that up. That's a real thing that happened.
Oh, God. All right, Beardo, let's knock out a couple of these big super chats real quick.
Yeah. Elite Neo for a 50 says, hey, Jeremy, just like you were giving good advice in Helldivers, I once gave Craig good advice during one of his Donkey Kong Country 2 streams on how to find a bonus barrel in one of the roller coaster stages. I DM'd you the clip on Twitter.
Oh, okay. That might be a good one. Let me see if I can find that one.
Koa Lee for a 50 as well. To this day, the only person I consider real gaming journalism is Total Biscuit. May he rest in peace. Watching his videos taught me the importance of critical thinking.
He was the best.
Yep.
a mentee for a $100. Harassment? Her ass meant nothing to me. I got a bonus today at work, so have some more e-girl money, Jeremy.
Let's go. I am, listen, I have no standards or morals. I am an e-thought. Send me your money. I will, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go as far as like the girl that everybody thinks is faking her newfound religion or whatever. I don't know what to believe, man. I don't know if like the only
scam.
It's I don't know. I have no idea.
I think we need to give it time. We'll give it time and see.
I hope she's not. It's just that she went so viral, like what, less than 6 months ago, and now suddenly out of nowhere, we'll see. But
maybe she got really tired of everybody calling her a whore.
I just don't. I think if it's money motivated, then why would she do that? She's already making a crap ton of money on OnlyFans.
Here's what I'll say. Okay, so I told the story initially on my Cobra Cast stream, and the first time when she had the video, 90% of my audience said she's lying. Then I showed the update where she deleted everything off her OnlyFans. 60% of my audience said she's lying. So she improved substantially. So people are starting to. Yes,
we'll see over time, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna try to grift and make more money, that's not going to be the strategy. She will make less money on the Christian angle than she will the OnlyFans angle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Period. Yeah.
Yep. I heard that. All right, I'm looking. Elite Neo, did you send it on Twitter?
He said Elite Neo. Let's see. DM'd you the clip on Twitter.
All right, just I don't see it in my inbox, either my messages request or whatever. Send it again, and it'll shoot to the top. All right, go ahead.
Hayden for a 50. There are videos that have been dug up from GDC 2018 where the same people under different companies are talking about putting DEI into gaming. Full panels on women in gaming, including LGBTQ in games, how to convince companies to consult them.
What was that? I can't remember who was with. I know Gary was with me. And Ryan, you weren't there at New York City Comic Con. Where were you for that? So it was Gary, I think Quarter Black, and I'm trying to remember who else was with us. Cecil was there, but Cecil wasn't with him at the panel. It was me, Gary, I think Quarter Black was there, but somebody else. And they went into, but either way, there was this panel that they went into that was all about like diversity, inclusion, and representation. This was several years ago. And it was like one of the cringiest things ever. So there's a lot of those out there that people could point to, but this GDC deal. So it seems like everybody that hates gamers has GDC in their bio right now, or in their name. You know, like they all have so and so at GDC or something like that. So I know Grummz, you're hearing were you hearing some things from GDC or just in general about Sweet Baby Ink that you were putting on Twitter about how they're kind of laying low, but they're not going away or something like that? What was that about?
Yeah, this isn't tied to GDC specifically, but I am hearing from devs that SBI is going underground and publishers are asking to be either removed or not added. Like I think you mentioned that we've got, or Mark did, that we have maybe 1 or 2 generations of games that are in the pipeline that can't be changed now, that you're going to see this get worse before it gets better. But that's what I was alluding to. But for GDC, you were mentioning, you know, the same people are proliferating this stuff. Well, I tweeted about feminist frequency coming back. Someone sent me this, that basically they have a panel now, and they were a big GG1 Anita Sarkeesian founded company. I don't think she's there anymore, but it's definitely still going on. Their entire talk is, so you've been canceled, now what? And it's
let me share that. Is that the thing you just shared? Let me share that while you're talking about it. There we go. Here we go. Go ahead.
So you've been canceled. And this whole talk is about, look, we canceled you, and now you need to apologize. And this is a training seminar on how to apologize correctly to appease.
Oh my God.
Can I just read this? Can I?
Absolutely.
This is glorious. All right.
Oh my God.
First of all, it's headed up by the programs manager of Feminist Frequency and a facilitator at Respect. And it's basically, can someone who has hurt others, even repeatedly, actually change? What comes after the call out? What can someone do if they've been called problematic, but really totally aren't sure why, or are losing friends, jobs, and networks? How does a person move forward if they want to become someone who won't cause that type of harm, or even unintentionally again? For the past 2 years, Respect has been talking to people in the games industry that have been called out, confronted, canceled, or fired for wrongdoing. Yeah, thanks, cancel pigs. Harming others or crossing boundaries or consent. Takeaway, this talk will share an actionable roadmap to change. Quotes from participants, common roots of accountability that have emerged, and Respect's approach to facilitating accountable discussions. They want to sell you a solution after they canceled you. They want you to hire them.
That's amazing.
I remember back in the day, the old salesman would come in and throw dirt on your carpet, then sell you a vacuum.
That's totally what this is. This is consulting in a nutshell. This is you don't solve the problem, you make the problem and you sell the solution over and over again.
Yes.
I think the real way out of that, like the simple solution to get out of canceling, is if the people won't forgive you, tell those people to fuck off and go do your own thing. If you're a developer, get a job with an indie team and work on a small game. If you're a journalist and this is happening to you because you got canceled by your friends, start a YouTube channel. Keep analyzing games. If you're good at it, keep doing it.
Yep.
You know, especially if you already have a following.
If you are a white male cis developer, get out of AAA. That's my advice. It's like you won't get promoted. I have this from so many developers telling me, you're not going to get promoted. You're not even going to get hired. You're not going to get past the HR filters at some of these places. Don't even bother. Go smaller studio. That's my
and it seems it's getting to the point that AAA is just turned into resume games for contractors. Like they come in, they work on the one project or one DLC, and then they move on, or they all get fired, and then a new group of people comes in. It seems like there's hardly any teams you hear about being a super tight, consistent team of people that have been working together for over a decade.
And that's a shame, because you build so much knowledge on how to make a great game together, and you have so much chemistry, especially if you can keep the team size down. I think part of it is because of those larger team sizes. People come and go, teams come and go, and that's really a shame. I think that makes for weaker games.
Yeah,
that's maybe From Software. From Software's got two teams. They have like the team that was working on Elden Ring, and then the other one was making Armored Core, and they're distinct, but both very good. Sorry, now this is just me thinking out loud. I do.
Did you finish reading this, Mark?
Oh, I just pulled the highlights. If there's anything else,
okay, no. I just wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know if there was any more to it, because I know we'd started talking, but that is absolutely insane. And of course, feminist frequency involved. Not surprising to anybody. Oh, my goodness.
We just canceled you.
Anita shut it down a little too soon, to be honest with you. Because that was like a year ago when they announced.
Could have had a bigger wedding if she milked it a little longer.
Oh my god!
Or if she actually met a man who would marry her. Yeah.
Anita Sarkeesian having a wedding themed birthday party. Like, is there any greater proof that we're living in a simulation than that? That is too funny. Like, what do you mean? You gave that to us for free?
The Photoshop of her and Sargon, like Sargon in his suit, like right next to her and there's in the dress, just look.
I didn't see it, but I can picture it immediately. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I like how Sargon welcomed Elon to GamerGate. You know what I mean? Like,
it's so funny because there was, it was freaking 4 or 5 years ago, but there was this funny like plan floated about, let's get the gang back together. Let's get Trump to talk about GamerGate. And this is now kind of the equivalent of that with Elon talking about it.
It is. And Elon's, I mean, the difference, like Elon actually is in the know. You know, he knows the world. Trump, everybody knows I'm a Trump guy. Trump doesn't know shit about video games. He actually knows negative about them. His takes are horrendously bad.
I think if we could get 60 seconds to explain that it's a bunch of just like really ugly woke freaks on the other side, and they'd really be pissed off if he just said something, he'd probably tweet it. Not tweet, but he'd throw out a truth social about it.
Elon's the real deal. I mean, we talk games for 2 hours. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, nice. Elon's big on the he knows he's he's on the Blizzard side of things. I mean, you don't play a Blizzard game without knowing how Blizzard's fucking up everything. So,
well, like all Trump needs to say is that the video game industry is a bloodbath, and that'll be all he needs to say, and that'll get everybody just freaking out, going crazy.
I'm looking forward to the new gaming podcast coming together with Donald Trump and Matt Walsh. talking about their favorite games.
Yeah,
that'd be
what
awesome.
I'm talking about. He's the first. He was the first to find this exploit. Listen, guys, I'm the first to build my character like this, so I'm not going to.
I invented speed running.
His character's great. It's one of the best.
Well, that's the difference in Trump and Matt Walsh. Is that Trump's so damn entertaining when he says it. Matt Walsh is just so dry and kind of lifeless when he talks about it. Just like that whole clip of Trump when they're asking him about the Bible. What's his favorite passage in the Bible? Don't really talk about that. What do you prefer, the Old Testament or the New Testament? Probably both. What? This is after Trump said it's his favorite book of all time, and it was so funny how he's just like, probably both. What? But it's how entertaining he is. So fucking cringe.
All you got to do, look, all you got to do to get Matt Walsh to actually play a video game is tell him that the video game has him in it on the last stage. He will play that shit like crazy looking for himself. Like, find somebody that loves you as much as Matt Walsh loves talking about himself. He'll literally dedicate a whole book to it.
Oh, man. All right, knock out a couple more.
Let's go. We have some important questions here. Slagless for $2 says, Grummz, will you bring back the booth babes?
We never believed them at Blizzard. We thought the game should sell the product.
The
exception was probably when Nintendo did StarCraft 64. They hired booth babes there, and I was actually propositioned by one when she heard that I was producer on the game. I think she thought I was like a movie producer or something. And she was like, "Oh, can I get your autograph? I don't seem to have a pen on me." And she runs her hands down her chest. I'm like, "Am I in a movie? Am I being punked right now?"
Maybe I have one in the back over there, and you're like, no.
I'd already be
in
on
the
back.
Boromir for a $5 says, I wanted to thank Grummz for bringing the classic WoW petition to Blizzard. I was a proud signer of that petition. Hail the Mark of Kern.
Oh, that was all Nostarius. That was their petition. I just brought it to Blizzard. I printed it out, and I got so much flack for that. Think of the trees, because it was just stacks and stacks of paper. But I knew that it would make more of an impact. And Mike saved it. The CEO of Blizzard, my former boss, he actually saved that petition after we met and kept it around. He loved it.
I just want to say that I also did sign this petition. I was a Nostarius player. Thank you, Mr. Mark.
Oh, awesome. Thank you,
Kabrutus. That is awesome. Well, and after we get a couple more, I got a question for you, Kabrutus. Go ahead.
We do have a very important comment from Chris Benoit.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
For Grummz.
Oh, no.
With the $20.
Do you know Chris Benoit is, Grummz, by the way?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Careful how you react.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Beardo. Yeah.
Okay.
Just read it.
So Chris Benoit for $20. Do we tell him the backstory?
just read
before
it,
this?
just
No?
read it.
Okay.
At this point,
All
he's
right.
going in
Just
blind.
read
Hi,
it.
Grummz. Hi, Grummz. My son used to be a huge fan of StarCraft. He tried to play competitively, but he always lost. He asked me to harshly discipline him when he lost to help motivate him to win more. He shouldn't have asked that.
All right, so
Wow.
I'm not going to let you respond, Grummz. I'm going to tell you. So,
Wow.
there's been so many people that have been trolled by this.
Oh, no.
So Chris Benoit is a former professional wrestler, WWF, who unfortunately murdered his wife and son, and it became a big thing in the industry about steroid use and all of that. So we have this how long ago was this? 20 years? 15, 20 years ago?
Jerry's doing his best to explain while we're all just laughing hysterically.
Exactly.
Tragedy that happened.
So Chris Benoit on YouTube has started to super chat people, especially guests on shows. Chrissy Mayer is the worst one that got trolled. Chris Benoit comes in there and he's like, "Hey, Chrissy, I'm getting back in the dating scene."
You failed to mention that he also self-deleted himself.
Yes.
Okay.
So my wife and kid are no longer in the picture, and Chris is like, "Oh, okay, so the kid's no longer in the picture." And he's like, "I'm trying to get back in the dating scene," and Chrissy spends like 15 minutes explaining like the nuances of like getting back in the dating scene. The whole chat is just like dying laughing. They're just going, and then finally they told him, but all the girls on the, even Melanie, you were on it too. I don't think you knew at the time.
We didn't. We were all just giving advice and we were like, you can do this. Like we were encouraging him.
Yeah. It was great. And then one of my favorite, that was a simple cast. And then one of my favorite ones was when Dan Vask and Drunk 3PO were hosting daily, and Chris Benoit sends a super chat, and it was directed at Dan. And Jay was kind of laughing, and Dan's like, what are you laughing about? And he's just like, Jay's like, I'm trying to, and Dan's like, let me answer the man. And so he gives like this heartfelt answer about like, you know, what he's been through and, you know, training his son and wrestling. And then Jay's laughing. And then finally Dan finds out, got trolled. But anyway, there's a long explanation. The Geeks and Gamers crowd.
From that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're too respectable.
You're too
Once I get to know you better, I will probably let you walk right into it. But right now, I have like a little bit of respect for you.
So we're not
Once
friends
you become
yet.
my friend, I
We
won't.
just met
Once we
you,
become
so
friends,
we
I'll tell you to go fuck
I've
yourself.
got a little bit of respect.
Way to
Maybe you'll tell me what you
friends,
think about my
Jeremy.
Starfield tweet.
Well, like it's like Ryan. When I met Ryan years ago, he actually like, you know, walked up and he shook my hand. Hey man, my name is Ryan. I love Geeks and Gamers. Now, if there's a compliment, I haven't seen it in years. He's just usually like "fuck you." That's basically the extent of it, right?
Yeah, that's before I had to fucking talk to you every day.
Go ahead.
My life was so much different back then.
River Miles with a 20 says, Kabrutus, accept all interviews and say just one word: bloodbath.
Yeah, bloodbath. Yeah.
Blood.
That's what
just once or repeatedly, like I am Groot.
Whenever the journos email you, just respond with bloodbath. That's it.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'll probably do it.
They're definitely gonna say that that's a threat.
Yeah, they will.
100%.
They will. Don't do
They're
it.
gonna call the FBI. You probably shouldn't do that.
They
Actually.
will. They will.
So here's an interesting one, Jeremy. Geeks and Gamers reloaded to Rise and Fall for a search for peace for $20. We need to actually have goals with GamerGate 2 rather than just defend ourselves against nonstop gaslighting. Without a plan, it will devolve into chaos again. Maybe we should go talk before Congress to argue against censorship ?
Well, I think I think at this point in time, right now, look, we've got no one knew who Kabrutus was, you know, a month ago. Now look at him. He's on everybody's stream. He's got a huge following. He's a really humble guy. You've got Craig, who we're going to talk about, you know, what you've got going on with Take Back Games. It's just about individuals just continuing to, you know, come together, but also still doing your own thing, you know. But like this right here is what it's all about, you know, just, you know, talking, getting more people informed about it, inspiring people to go do their own thing. So like, for instance, Kabrutus, with your, you know, with all of this that's going on, do you have any plans of anything in motion that you want to talk about? I don't know if you do. I'm just seeing like, you know, with all this, I know it's a whirlwind because you're still just trying to grasp everything that's going on. And I mean, like I said, I watched your first stream. You reacted to Ryan's video and my video, along with you like quartering and things like that. You had that clip of you and Grummz were on with the quartering. And then that kind of went, you know, that clipped out because Elon shared that one, right? Is that the one Elon shared?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is just crazy. So I know you're still trying to grasp everything going on, but do you have any plans to anything you want to do or anything you want to promote? Feel free to do that right now.
Yes, I am building a website. I am making a partnership with a Brazilian company. I cannot reveal the name right now, but I'm probably going to be able to do it soon. They are kind of afraid of backlash, and also I'm still talking to them. So yeah, they are building my website. We probably gonna have a prototype ready by the end of the next week. And in this website, I'm gonna talk about every DI company. You know, I'm gonna try to replicate what I'm doing with the creator list in the website. And you mentioned a little bit earlier that we need to promote more indie stuff. And yes, in this website, I plan on having a session just to talk about great indie games because I want to promote good stuff in the website too. I want to use all this attention that I am receiving to not only to talk about the bad side, but also the good side of the gaming industry and the developers, you know. And yeah, I have this YouTube channel. I'm just doing some live streams. I'm chilling, talk to my audience there, you know, just giving my takes, playing some games. But I intend on turning this YouTube channel on a something much better. Is part of my roadmap. First, I want to set up and establish my website. Then I can go on worry about the YouTube channel, and I'll also want to keep my Twitter as my main tool to announce things, to talk with my audience, you know, to talk with people. So yeah, these are my plans now. I didn't ask for any of this. No, like you said, I mean, I'm just a gamer, a fellow gamer, a normal dude. I always have been. I don't know how to deal with all of this. I'm doing really the best I can. And there are some people gathering towards me and trying to help me. And I'm taking some, I'm accepting some of those helps. I mean, they are professionals and they are offering their some work to help me, you know, not money, they just want to work for me for free. And I'm accepting their help right now because I don't, yeah, I mean, I kind of lost, you know. I don't know. Sometimes I feel kind of lost. I don't know what to do at sometimes.
I totally understand that.
Well, I mean,
what I will
every
say
so
this:
often,
Keep doing what you're doing.
yeah,
yeah, people want to help you build things, man. And never turn those people down because they're going to be the ones that you should probably be paying the most if you start making money doing it. You know, they're the ones who believe in you.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
totally.
And I'll say this,
gladly
like
accept their help.
with the world you're in, no apologies at all. With the world you're in, with like, you know, you were on, you know, Flash Cash, you were on side scrollers, you know, now here, and you know, we got Friday Night Tights and Nerdrotic, like all. This is a great group of people. Who?
The quartering.
Who? I don't know who that is.
The creator of FNT.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. I saw him congratulating him.
He's the other Jeremy.
Yeah.
He's like, the next thing on my agenda is become an ambassador for Coffee Brand Coffee.
I also talked with Asmongold. I also talked to
Did you? Yeah, that's right. You were. You were.
That was like
yeah.
the first one.
I think that was the first.
No, actually, the first one. The first one was with Fritanga from Fritanga Plays channel.
Yeah, I love him.
He's a really cool
good.
dude. Yeah, really
He's
cool
good
dude.
videos.
And yeah, and right after him, I think it was Craig with side scrollers and then Asmongold.
Okay, not bad. Yeah, and yeah, so everybody that you're kind of interacting with is the right people. I mean, Melanie's talked about this. I mean, she was kind of in the gaming world for a while, and she didn't even know this whole kind of corner of the internet existed, and now she's, you know, been here, and we don't cancel her for saying gamer words. We embrace her even more. You know what I mean? So, and that's what it's all about. But I can tell you, like, personally, like, if you need anything from me, man, any questions, I'm all about trying to help. And it's just been cool to, like I said, you brought up the quartering. I mean, quartering, that dude, he is such a good, I really don't want to compliment him right now. He is such a good guy, though. He's helped me out a lot. He's always had my back. And you know, I'll always have his back if he needs anything. Even though he claims that he created Friday Night Tights, he didn't. But he's, you know, Alex Jones seems to think he did, so I guess that means he did. But
that's the new conspiracy that just dropped.
Alex Jones coming on our show, and he's like, "I love all your shows. You guys do a great work." And I'm like, you haven't watched my fucking channel, Alex. What are you talking about?
Right.
But you know, we've got a good opportunity here, and that's the first thing I was looking at was when I was watching your reaction to all of this. Kabrutus is like, "Who is this guy? You know, like what the hell is going on?" You know, me and Ryan were actually talking about this, like, who is he? You know, and because I told Ryan, I was like, he reached out to me. I guess maybe we should have him on, you know. And so we definitely got you. And again, when you get your website up and running, let us know. Bring you back on. We can get you on the website, all of that stuff. Talk about it. Do an interview with Alex talking about it. You know, whatever you need, man. But you know, it is a whirlwind for sure, and I don't think this is going away anytime soon. I mean, Grummz, do you think? And this is my theory. Do you think that all of this going on? I think that it's tied into the election in some capacity for sure, because they tried to you know, they tried to pull the whole GamerGate got Trump elected bullshit last time. You know what I mean? Do you think that that plays any part into this?
I think they think it does, and that's why you have very creepily, Kabrutus has noticed this. I've noticed this. A bunch of gamers have sent us stuff. You have all these government-funded programs mobilizing to monitor gaming, and specifically gaming extremism and election monitoring, of all things. And these are all government-funded programs from Canada, the US, and the UN. This is very odd timing. And it all came out a week after the Sweet Babies Inc. stuff broke. I think that there's eyes on gamers, and they're looking really hard at this. And it's not because gamers are terrorists. It's because gamers have had a lot of influence in GG1 in sort of like I talked about earlier, lifting the veil on media. They were really the start of calling out, so-called fake news, right? And it had so much groundswell support that the media is afraid of that. And I think that's why, and governments are afraid of that. And I think that's why you've got eyeballs on it right now.
Yep. I'm just realizing that I could comfortably be described as a frame rate extremist.
You absolutely are. We know that.
I would have no defense against it. They'd be like, "Are you a frame rate extremist?" I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I hate playing things at 30."
Where do you draw the line, Mark? 120, 240? Where does it stop?
No, just 60. The standard refresh rate of most modern displays. 60 hertz, 60 frames a second.
You're killing us, Mark. You're killing us.
I think it's very reasonable.
Anything less than 4K at 120 is literally unplayable.
I'll play it at 720p if it's got a solid 60 FPS frame rate. I'm not kidding. I don't care about resolution at all.
Obviously, you don't care about resolution.
Don't go to government for the solution for this. They're busy trying to figure out how they can influence gaming and for whatever end. I have no idea what they're doing with this. Get Kabrutus' list to number 1. You know what I can't stand? I can't stand on the top curator list on Steam that PC Gamer is beating Kabrutus at 713,000 followers. Kabrutus is at number 4 at 302,000 followers. We cannot let that stand, gamers. Let's go out and push them all the way to number 1, and that's the way that publishers will notice, and that's the way you'll see real change.
There's over 4,000 people watching the stream right now. Okay, so we can definitely get those numbers up. I'm sure a lot of you are already
a million sub channel now.
Hey. So right now we've got so you've got who? You got 2 other groups. What's third place? How far ahead of third?
Just let me show it real quick here.
Okay, you pulling up right here?
Yeah. So right now, Steam Curator is sorted by most popular. PC Gamer 700,000 followers, and who knows how long that's been around. Follow Just Good PC Games to get more reviews like this. 600,000. PC Master Race. There you are, Mark. 500,000, and then Sweet Baby Ink
Look at there, man.
Wow. I recommended all across the board.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That dude, like, you're having Kabrutus. I know you're just a regular dude, just a gamer. You're having an amazing impact, and just keep being yourself through all of this, because that's what's gotten you here, and that's why people are connecting with you, and that's why they're going to continue to support you. And again, it's just like anything else. When you see somebody pop up that's new, that something's happened, you're like, what are they all about? And everything I looked into you the best I could before we were going to do an interview, just because I was like, all right, who is this guy? We don't want to just, is somebody trolling? Is he just trying? Because there's a lot of people out there that try to put a bad image out there for gamers. You never know what people are capable of. And I watched your stream. I was like, this dude is like just a normal gamer like all of us. And
really, we were just worried you were going to be another Dan Vask, and there's just too many of those out there. You've only been on this show for an hour and a half, and already you're everybody's favorite Brazilian creator. So yeah, it's kind of a low bar there.
How's your singing voice?
Not as good as it's better. You got to be better than Dan, though. I mean, come on.
Dan's okay.
Dan's okay. He's not that great. Did you see that Dan's subscribers have shot up since Gary hit 1 million? Everybody unsub from Dan.
That's awesome. Get Dan to 2 million before Gary, and Gary will still have to sing a Bon Jovi song.
No, yeah, the Dan Vask, versus Gary was really awesome to watch. So congratulations again to Gary, 1 million subscribers, absolutely insane. And it's just Gary's just again, Gary's a retard who has no idea what he has same as all of us. You know what I mean? Gary, I talked to Gary the other day. I was telling him how impactful he is on like coming on streams and how many viewers he bumps a stream. And he's like, really? I'm like, you are an idiot. Yes. And that's why people like him, because he is an idiot. Craig, let's talk about take games back.
Let's talk games.
Let's talk games. That's what you should call.
Where's yeah, I tried that, but
put a picture of Jay with a thumbs up.
Domain.
Put a picture of Jay with a thumbs up. Let's talk games.
Yeah, Jay owns that domain already. Sorry. So.
All right, so let's talk about this. You were the genius that you are. Decided to take probably the busiest week for gaming. You just decided to take a week off like an idiot.
Yeah.
I knew you were just like kicking yourself. You're like, good Lord. So in that time of seeing all of this taking off, you start thinking, and what did you come up with?
Well, I had a week-long vacation planned with my family, and so we went out. We're on there, and I'm keeping an eye on everything from afar. I'm watching Blabs host the show, and just keeping an eye on the news. And I'm like, holy crap, this is just nonstop. And
the
week before, we went really heavy on all the sweet baby stuff, and obviously, it's going to be a story that continues for a long time. But for me, all this really resonated because the reason why I got back into gaming was because I looked at gaming and went, holy shit, this place is a mess. Like, the video game industry is a mess right now. There has to be a voice of sanity here, right? And that was the whole reason why, like, I wanted to get in and start side scrollers again. And when all this nonsense started up with Sweet Baby Inc., I was like, oh my gosh, like this is important. Like, this is a really important thing, because having kind of, as we talked about earlier, I wasn't really aware of the GamerGate stuff the first time around, and so this really like resonated with me, and I felt like there was a big purpose behind it. And I started doing a little digging, because I went back to December, and I was thinking about December, watching the Game Awards. I think I did a live watch along or something, and I remember thinking, like, golly, like the one thing that I continuously heard was there needs to be a gamer awards. Like, it's all built around, it's all this pomp and circumstance, whatever it is, the phrase where everyone's going out in their tuxedos, and it's like, that's not gamers. Like, gamers want to cosplay, they want to wear hoodies, they want to wear jeans, like that's like, and that's never.
I would never wear a hoodie, by the way. I would never wear a hoodie.
Oh, I wear them all the time. They're great. Doesn't
That was
He's wearing one now, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, hypocrite.
But it just drove me crazy.
I was like, wait a minute, you're wearing one right now, Jeremy. What are you doing?
Yeah, liar.
Go ahead, Craig.
No, but then I started connecting the dots again, and I was like, wait, these people who everybody's upset at, and rightfully so, the journalist for lying, these are the same people who are saying and giving away the awards for the best games of the year. And I started thinking about it, and I literally spent the plane ride home putting together the idea behind Take Games Back. And so I put together a video and just put it out there to see what people think. And the idea is simply, I want to create an app. I want to give people the opportunity to vote and create a true like gamer Game of the Year awards. And that's built around their impact and their vote. And yes, gatekeep it. But I gave you the video. Do you have it pulled up? You'll do a much better job explaining it than me right now.
We're going to play this, which is also, we could just, we'll play it, and it'd be a chance for everybody to take a piss break. Here we go.
If there's one thing that's become painfully clear over the last couple weeks, it's that the people who work in this industry and write about this industry that you love hate you. It's one big club, and you are not in it. In fact, did you know that the Game Awards are voted on by those exact same people? I mean, look at this list. It's IGN and Polygon and Variety, for God's sakes. It's an elitist, outdated system, and it's had way too much sway in the video game industry for way too long. I've been talking about video games online for almost 2 decades now, and been playing games like longer than that, but I have never seen the video game industry this toxic. It is time to get our voice back. Now, look, I'm not telling you I got this whole idea mapped out, because I don't. I don't even have a name for this yet, but it's become painfully obvious that this is very much needed. Year after year, over and over again after the Game Awards, people say there has to be a real award show for gamers. Well, let's do it. This is the first step to creating a club or a group where you decide the winners and losers of the video game industry.
A club where you get to decide the categories, the nominees for the categories, and of course, vote on them. And it'll all be done through an app where you can do it easily and securely. So is this club free? Nope, absolutely not. Why? As we've seen over the last few years, our hobby has been hijacked by activists looking to push their own agenda and literally push you out. For that reason alone, there has to be a barrier of entry to be a part of this club. Hell yes, we're going to gatekeep. We should have been gatekeeping much longer. But here's my vision. With your support, we'll, number one, be able to make the app, and number two, be able to create a physical award show that you'll be able to attend, guess what, with the app serving as your ticket. My vision for this also has a board of directors to help oversee things, but there are strict rules to be involved with the board. 1, they're not allowed to vote. 2, they're not allowed to be on any press list or receive any free video games and or perks from any AAA publishers. And 3, and most importantly, they are not allowed to be employed by traditional gaming media. Hey man, I get it. Video games are a mess right now. The industry you love doesn't want you, and the traditional media hates you. And that's why it's time to take games back. So go to takegamesback.com and become a member and help grow this community and help regain our voice. It's now or never.
There we go. Even had the close-ups to kind of emphasize your, good editing there. But
that was the most editing I've done in a long time.
Yeah. So, and before you continue, Kabrutus, absolutely. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. So go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, so I announced this yesterday. The response has been like overwhelmingly positive. I got a dozen emails in my inbox from people who are just saying, holy crap, how can I help? Holy crap, I work in the industry. I have worked in the industry. This is so needed. And that's like really refreshing to hear. And as I said in the video, like I'm just more than anything right now, like we can sit here and talk about all this stuff, but I am a dude who likes to do things. I feel like more than anything, we have to act, and we have to actions speak way louder than words right now. And if we can create some sort of parallel economy, I'm not saying this is going to compete with the Game Awards as far as viewership at all, but these can be the true Game Awards. And people say, well, why do you need to spend money to be a part of it? Well, I think of it like a club, right? First and foremost, that you're a member of. And they're like, well, this is a total grift. And I think that's the most asinine thing in the world. I said this earlier on Side Scrollers. Like, number one, I'm not looking to make any money off this. This is strictly a passion project about my hobby. I see something that needs to be done. I want to make it happen. Number two, when people use the word grift, they use that term out of ignorance. And a grift is a term that comes from lazy people who don't want to act. I'm the opposite. I want to act. So I'm not saying I have all the solutions here, but what I am saying is that somebody has to take the first step. So I'm taking the first step. I put together a full timeline on like what this looks like over on the website, takegamesback.com. You can become a member right now if anybody wants to be a part of this. I'll be looking to fund the app first and then create a physical event. There are options to where people can buy tickets to the event. And think of it like you're providing faith in the idea right now. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, trust me, bro. Yeah, trust me, bro. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never let anybody down, right? I've never grifted and never not given money back on any sort of failed campaigns. I've only delivered over my 20 years, and I'll deliver here. This is something that I am passionate about. I am going to do. And I, along with you, will take games back. And that's the whole idea. And let's effing go.
Well, I know that there's the idea that the award show process is broken, and it absolutely is. But gamers love the award show idea. It's just we don't like the people that are in control of it, because what we love is when that game wins, we love to fight. Because that fucking game didn't deserve that shit.
We all love top 5 lists and all that shit.
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day, that's kind of what awards really are.
That is what, if you don't know this, that's what, at least for me, that's what I knew Screw Attack for was, your top 5, top 10, all those lists, you know what I mean? And the energy around it and everything like that. So I love the idea of something like that. And You know, because people super chatted me that day and they were like, oh, did you hear what Craig's doing? I'm like, yeah, he called me like right before he dropped the video and told me I'm excited as hell about this, you know? So I'm 100% about it. Does anybody on the panel have any questions or any suggestions?
I think that there can be, it's a fantastic idea. And I love that Craig is doing this. I think that you're kind of only scratching the surface with this, though. There is so much more that you can do. And if I can offer any kind of advice or maybe idea, is Dave Portnoy has his One Bite app for pizza, right? If there is a pizza shop on the planet on the One Bite app, even though if Dave Portnoy's never been there, all the fans could, and if you have an account on the One Bite app, they can put in their pizza review for that place. And if Dave Portnoy has been there, it's got his review of it, and it's got the fans' review of it. This doesn't just need to be the game of the years. It could be a game comes out, AAA, indie, whatever it is. You put a category on it, on the app, and you can do fan score and then Craig's score. And then you can even do people who you trust, like Jeremy, like Ryan, other gamers in the community who have a valid and a strong audience. You can have them score each and every game. You want to do a top 10? Doesn't need to be at the end of the year. Why don't you do quarterly awards? And then at the very end of the year, you take the winners of the quarters and then you stack them up against each other. I think that there's something so much bigger to this. Like the Game of the Year awards is great, but there is so much more I think that you can, do with this.
I agree. And I haven't really talked about this, but I am heavily inspired by Nintendo Power. If I can share the screen really quick. Jeremy. If you recall, they had a section that was the top 30 every month. What if we, I would love to do the top game of the month. Hey, guess what? It's Helldivers 2 this month. They're number 1, right? And this is all voted on by the community. I think that'd be really fun to do game of the month awards, and just like you do like in professional sports leagues. You have player of the week awards, player of the month awards, things like that. And really, really just, you're right. This is barely scratching the surface of what can be done. But the point is, let's just take the first step.
Well, Craig, I actually had some thoughts about the award show format. I think is actually a really good idea for a much more practical reason than I think a lot of people are considering. And that's just that if the thing with award shows wasn't seeing trailers for new games that are being worked on and they'll eventually come out in 5 years and not look anything like that trailer that's shown, but instead was about, hey, let's hear what a bunch of different people have to say about what the best games of all of these different categories are in a year. And it can show people who might not have played every single game that came out that year, maybe what a few of the things in their favorite genres were missing. And I think that having it focused around one time per year, or at least even a main event that's one time per year, I think does a lot to sort of be like, hey, here's the best things that came out this year. You probably haven't played a bunch of them. They're probably all cheap now too. So yeah, you can play these games now and you might not have heard of a bunch of them. And I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, dude, showing the Nintendo Power rankings, that like, man, you hit me in the nostalgia. And you've talked about that. I believe I called you up one time and I was like, did you read EGM and GamePro back in the day? And we talked about that. And when I was an EGM guy. I was an Electronic Gaming Monthly guy. So every month I would go to the ratings because I wanted to see like where my favorite game was. And I wanted my favorite game to be ranked higher. And I'm like, no, it's got, I'd get so excited. And we don't have that obviously anymore because, with the social media, but we can recreate that. I've wanted to have that recreated for a long time, that feel you got with GamePro or Electronic Gaming Monthly or Game Informer or Nintendo Power. So this type of stuff right here is gold. Absolute gold. I love it so much.
You should read the justifications though. Don't just be like, what, my favorite game's not winning? That sucks. Like, be like, wait, what's this game that's better than the game I thought was the best? And then read about it.
I'll say this.
Play it down.
So Lofty Pixels came in and he was like, so what's preventing this from becoming like just a popularity contest? And the reality is that nothing is preventing it from becoming a popularity contest. But the point is that it won't be the media's popularity contest. It'll be the gamers' popularity contest. And that's the most important thing.
I have talked about this 1,000 times with the Rotten Tomatoes bullshit and people talking about like review bombing and all that shit. I'm like, dude, I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. Christopher Nolan fans positively review bomb his movies more than any fan base out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Zack Snyder fans do the same damn thing because they're so passionate. Quentin Tarantino fans do the same thing. There's nothing wrong with positive review bombing, just like there's nothing wrong with negative review bombing, because ultimately, if you are creating strong emotions within people, positively or negatively, that's what fandom's all about. That's what fandom's all about.
I think though that Lofty's criticism has, at least to me, what seems like an obvious solution, which is just make the difficult bar for a game to clear the nomination process and make that rigorous. I think that like every game that's nominated should have a representative or 5 like write something about it to say why they think this game should be winner of whatever category. And if you make it so that all of the nominations are justified, and even that people like users, members can read those justifications to say like, well, what's this guy's argument for Liza P and what's the other guy's argument for Baldur's Gate 3 if we're going to look at last year. And I think that the game is already won if you have categories that make sense to people who play video games and appropriate nominations within those categories.
Well,
because the Game Awards have never done that.
We'll let Malcolm go real quick. Malcolm had a point.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not even so sure that it has to necessarily even, have those specific measures. I mean, if it's a popularity contest among gamers, I mean, what's the big deal? That motivates more gamers to actually share the game with their friends and, grow their fan base. Like, that's what we all grew up
organic.
For,
It's organic.
I mean, yeah, we grew up during the Xbox versus PlayStation wars where everybody, it didn't matter. You were just shilling your favorite console. And that's like the whole point is that
it's like sports fandom.
But I think that's
got to be there.
No, that's awesome.
I think that's
half the fun of sports,
video game fan. I think that like being a console fanboy is probably the worst decision you could make when interacting with modern video games because it's so pointless. It really is. You can just play whatever game you want to play, and then think about why that game is good. Why is this game better than the game your buddy says is good? Both of you have it out, and like you come up with reasons based on things that are in the game. Yeah,
I'm saving my arguments for later. We have respectable people here like Kabrutus.
We should have a good. We should definitely.
Don't worry, Kabrutus. You're 2 streams away from me telling you to go fuck yourself. Don't worry, we'll get there. So, but right now you're respectable. Same with you, Grummz too. But what do you like? Okay, Kabrutus, Grummz. You guys have any thoughts on this? What with Craig's take back games?
Yes, I think Craig talked to me even before he releasing it to YouTube. He wanted to hear what I thought about it, and I told him it's a great idea. I really think it's a great idea. I 100% agree. Even here in Brazil, people say the same thing. Yo, this TGA stuff, it's all about celebrities, it's all about those guys, fancy guys, they just want to talk about let's say they care more about the celebrities than the gamer itself. They are not gamers. You can see that they are not gamers. And I mean, I think it's perfect. I think it's a great idea. It has a really huge potential. And please, if there will ever be a physical award, I wanna be there.
I'm gonna I'll say this right now. If and when we do a physical award show, Kabrutus, you will present an award.
Oh, look at there.
Okay. I'll gladly accept your invitation.
Best game worked on by Baby
or Dan Vass gets here. So
that's great, man.
What do you think about all this?
Oh, Craig, I gave you a lot of feedback on it the first time. I told you how game awards are rigged pretty much by the industry, how companies will go out and sign people up for free memberships and tell them to vote one way or the other. So this is a great way to get the gamer voice out, and I really respect you for that. And I see that you're very active. I like the suggestions here about making it more active, multiple rankings, keeping it alive so it's a living thing throughout the year. You don't just wait to the end of the year to see any action. I think that sort of dynamicism is really going to be key.
Well, I appreciate it, and I know we got other stuff to talk about, and I want to get to that stuff, and I don't want to take too much time talking about it. But I know a lot of people are naturally skeptic when it comes to this stuff. So I know people have a wait and see approach. Totally get it. I'm literally talking with since yesterday, I've been talking with several different developers about the app. I put together a roadmap for 2024. That's in the FAQs. If anybody wants to go look at that, kind of the timeline for what that looks like. For people who are like, well, there's not enough information. Well, I'm going to keep spilling that out. Like I said, there's a work in progress, and it's not about knowing the finish. We know where the finish line is. It's just about taking a step and getting going. And guess what? Messing up along the way. Yesterday I launched with a like a $60 price point, and people were like, "Oh, it's too much." Well, I listened to them, and they're right, So I lowered it to like $30 for the year. It's a $30 annual thing, which hopefully keeps people entertained throughout the year. And you guys are 100% right. Like, making it something that is living and breathing and active on a day-to-day basis is going to be very, very important. For sure. So
well said. All right, Kabrutus, you had some stuff you wanted to talk about really quick.
Oh yes, really quick about my heavy metal band. My former heavy metal band. Yeah, I used to have a heavy metal band. I had like a really long hair, even longer than Dan Vasco, I would say.
Wow.
But yeah, people have been asking me, and hey, where are your songs? Because I put some of those songs. I did a record with this band like in 2015. I played the bass and also did some backing vocals, and I posted all this. There were 4 songs in total. I've put them on my YouTube channel. I removed, and since then people have been asking me, why did you remove? Those songs are great, Heroes Hymn and this and that. Yeah, okay. So I just want to clarify this. The former members of my band, the guys, I still know them. Of course, they still know me. I still get in contact with them. They copyright strike me on YouTube. Yes, and okay. I mean, I know it sounds bad. I don't think it really is. They just did that because
is it a claim or is it a strike? Because those are two drastically different things. Was it a copyright claim?
Two things.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them was a copyright. The other one was a claim.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't think they did that in bad faith. They just did this because they wanted a way to draw my attention, and they don't have my phone number anymore. I think that's only this. And the issue was, when I posted those songs, I just named it Kabrutus and the name of the song. They thought that I was trying to take all the credit for myself because, hey, why didn't you say the name of the band? Why didn't you? I don't know, because the original name of the band is Night Riders, and we have a special art cover for the original release. I didn't put those on the videos because I didn't know if they would let me to do it. This is why I didn't. I didn't know if they would let me to expose the band identity or this kind of stuff. This is why I didn't. I wasn't trying to take the credits all for myself. I played the bass. I'm also the owner of these songs, but I'm not the only owner. And on YouTube, they are the owners. The guitar vocal, he was the main composer of the songs. So yeah, I am in contact with him. I am trying to reach him, and I'm probably going to be able to post the songs again, but this time it's going to be with the original band name, which is Night Riders, and the name of the EP is Young, Wild, and Free, and with the original cover art, So yeah, I just wanted to say this because there are really many people asking me about those songs. People love those songs, and yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm figuring out. I'm gonna post the songs again, as soon as I can. Which the original name of the band and all of this. That's all. I just wanted to explain.
Are all Brazilians musicians on YouTube? Because I only know 2, you and Dan Mask. So that's pretty much it. That's all I know. So,
yes.
But maybe you and Dan can do a song together at some point.
I would accept the invitation. Dan is a really talented singer. He's amazing. Yeah, definitely.
He's also
that is enough good things said about Dan Vasco on the stream.
No, come on. I'm Brazilian. We Brazilians, monkeys should unite, So yes, let us unite, okay?
Hey, did you say your song was called Young, White, and Proud? Is that what you said it was called?
No.
I thought it was Gamer Go Home.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Beardo, do we have any more super chats directed for Grummz or for Kabrutus or anything?
We got Durag Vince.
Oh boy,
Durag Vince for 10. Says Kabrutus. Kabrutus is a great wrestling name. My Latin. Kabrutus is a great wrestling name. My Latin knee grow. I also know that, like Dan Vask, you're tough having to fight off those street hoods trying to rob you. Drop me a line if you want it in Raw.
Oh man, yeah.
If you want in at Raw,
fuck.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, like if you like Raw the show.
God, Beardo, come on.
That's
You got
much different. The syntax of that sentence is extremely important.
Honestly, it's Durag Vince. It could have went that way.
Okay, well.
It could have.
It was predictive programming. Beardo was definitely he was waiting on that one.
What did I say?
You said drop me a line if you want it in Raw.
Yeah, you want to go in Raw. And I'm like, what are you talking?
Okay,
I'm so glad Ryan's back.
Super chat.
Beardo just just throws words together, and sometimes it's obvious that's not what that was saying. And he's like,
all I was
well, that's
thinking
what
is
I read.
maybe this was one of the ones you shouldn't have read.
Let me just ask.
Hey, maybe I do it on purpose. You never know.
I mean,
Raw is that wrestling. Raw is that wrestling federation, right?
What's that?
Is Raw a wrestling federation?
Yes, WWE Raw, Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I like Bret Hart a lot. Yeah, if Bret Hart,
Canadian.
Yeah, he's my favorite. He's my favorite wrestler. If he blessed me to use sharpshooter, I mean, why not?
Yes.
My future.
The excellence of execution. Truly, the greatest in-ring talent probably ever. Bret Hart. He's amazing. So, I saw someone mentioned with RGT. He's a wrestling guy. I should get him on a wrestling stream. Well, unfortunately, he doesn't follow me on Twitter. So I'm not a specialist. Stuttering Craig.
We're never do a wrestling
Yeah, it was Dave the Elite
stream,
fan for $25. Yo, Jeremy, I see on RGT's Twitter profile, he's a huge wrestling fan. He'd be a great guest on the wrestling stream. Oh,
yeah, he'd be a
There's
great
no wrestling stream.
Yeah, he'd be great. He'd be great to have on a wrestling stream. It'd also be great if he followed me on Twitter, but he's never going to follow me on Twitter. So
listen,
what's the point?
We got the '90s Rock back before we got a wrestling stream. Okay,
I know.
Rock went back to wearing his old shit before we ever got one of this thing. We're gonna go through a whole nother cycle of WCW and Monday Night Wars. And Jeremy will be like, I'm going to get this stream going at some point, and then it'll be over. It's just never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. One of these days it'll happen.
Is there going to be a Sting, too, that looks like the Bill Skarsgård Crow?
Probably. At some point, there'll be another Undertaker that shows up.
All right, so Ryan, I'm going to put you on the spot for something really quick, okay? Now, if you want to take a few minutes, but I want to we got to clip this out, and I think we could get probably 1-800-DANKY to do an animation of it. Can you kind of give us a recap of what Matt Walsh should do for What is a Gamer? How he should go about that with the documentary of What is a Gamer? I think you did this on FNT. I can't remember. But this is the greatest idea ever.
So obviously, with the little spat between Jeremy and Matt Walsh and Gamers and everybody else, Daily Wire, whatever, all of that friction, we thought, you know what would be helpful if we just turn this thing around. They took advantage of the situation, just like what happened when Matt Walsh was like, oh, anime is demonic. People got upset. He decided, hey, we're going to make a thing where I watch One Punch Man. What he should do is do a documentary, What is a Gamer? Same template, same format as What is a Woman? And him just starting off being like looking at his children playing with like old-fashioned toys and everything, with like everyone dressed in like super conservative stuff. And he's like, you know, I've told my kids all my lives that video games are for losers, that they're for weirdos, they're for freaks, and they shouldn't waste their time on that. But recently, I've got myself involved in a little controversy, just like typical Matt Walsh deadpan shit. He's like, so I decided to find out, what is a gamer? And the first thing he does, he goes to like Kotaku editors and he talks to all these people. He talks to Sweet Baby Inc. And he just gets told how awful and vile regular straight white male gamers are and how we need to embrace this different crowd. Do the deadpan shit just like he did with What is a Gamer, and then talk to all the normal people out there, and talk to us, talk to people that are just normal, that have lives, that have families. And he's like, thinks to himself, maybe I was wrong about gamers. Maybe they aren't all awful. I mean, if these people are lying about them, then they have to be pretty good, right? And the next thing he shows up to like a MAGA rally and he's like interviewing people and asking them what their favorite video game is. That would be ever. It would be fucking incredible if they ended up doing something like that. Shut up, Mark. No one cares about your soul. We care about what is a gamer documentary.
It sounds like a great epic thing.
Yes. Hey. But we need that Matt Walsh dry kind of like attitude, because authenticity is part of it, and where Matt authentically doesn't like gaming. but
you send him to my house, I'll turn into friggin' dude from Gran Torino. Just get off my lawn. Like,
yeah. So Grummz, let's quickly talk about what happened with the Daily Wire people and how that whole thing went down, where I guess who was the guy? Greg, was that his name? The guy that reached out to you?
Greg with a double G. Yeah.
Yeah. So he reached out to you. I guess he's one of Matt Walsh's producers or something like that, I guess, or what was he?
I don't know. I mean,
I think he's a lawyer for the Daily Wire.
Okay. Yeah. And so he reached out to you basically like, hi, we used a clip in Matt's video, blah, 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 blah. And I think he even thanked you for some of your work, correct?
Well, that's how he initially reached out to me. I guess the clip went viral. He was the second post that Elon referenced, Matt Walsh. He clipped that out. And so I got this message from this Greg guy. It was like, hey, we featured you. I'm like, oh, well, that's great. And it's like, and we'd be interested if you had any ideas and stuff. And I said, awesome. I may have some. And then he replied with the little sunglasses thing. And then I got caught up in this controversy I knew nothing about, where you guys were going back and forth. And I guess I think you quote tweeted you. Yeah. And that just sent him off. And the next message with him is like, you're so stupid for doing that. That was a mistake. It was like vaguely threatening. And I was like, hey, dude, read my next tweet. I'm very open. I think Matt would appreciate a lot of the values that come out of good gaming, good community gaming. There are things here that work out. And he just started going off about how stupid I was to do this and how it was a huge mistake. And he really pissed me off. I mean, it's like it came out of left field, and I kept trying to calm him down. And in a moment of anger, it's like I looked at it and said, okay, this isn't private info. What information are you protecting? That some guy's being a douchebag to me? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. I really hate this sort of royalty feeling. It felt like when Milo was a big figure in GG1, Milo Yiannopoulos, and he wanted me to come out to LA and meet him at some fancy restaurant. I said, hey, I'm with my kids. I really can't make it. And he got really offended. I got the same vibe from this Greg guy. So something in me snapped. And I just said, okay, fine. This is the bullshit. And it's so cynical and I don't want to deal with it. And you're coming at me for no reason whatsoever and insulting me. So that was it. And then, and then I made it I made an evaluation. I said, listen, last time this happened, we hooked up with Conservative Inc. and it was very valuable because we got our voices out there. They were the only press that would cover us at the time in GG1, but it came at a cost. We were a very diverse group of people all across the spectrum, all genders, all ideologies, and we were just united in gaming, and we got easily tarred as being alt-right conservatives because of this direct link. And I said, listen, if we do the evaluation today, gaming's much more mass market than even Matt Walsh, right? And it's not worth it. It's not worth, pandering to Conservative Inc. in order to get our voices heard when we already have so much more coverage from YouTubers, and we have so many other options to get the word out. I said, you guys make your individual call, but personally for me, as a deal maker, I don't think it's a great deal for us anymore.
Yeah.
Well, yep.
That's
well
really,
said.
Well, and also, I mean, like that guy, he also used to be the head writer for Tucker Carlson or something for one of his shows and stuff. Like he was talking with another guy that was from Daily Wire, and they were kind of like going through and leaving snide comments on a lot of different people's stuff, and it was obviously he was kind of stirring people up. And then one of the things they talked about was like, well, I guess, maybe Daily Wire needs to get into gaming to do this stuff. And it was like, well, I mean, like maybe you should, or maybe you guys should have more conversations. But like right now you're kind of just getting pissed off because people are upset about this and not actually stopping to take the time to think about, okay, why are they upset about this stuff? And if you're going to reach out to somebody, like, just because they're part of the conversation, maybe you shouldn't do that. But he ended up blocking a ton of people, and people that didn't even know who the guy was were like, why did this guy block me randomly? I don't know what's going on here.
Well,
So,
you got to
I
be
don't know.
careful. Does anybody remember Jack Thompson?
Yes, I was going to say Matt Walsh is basically Jack Thompson. It's like you don't just because the enemy of your enemy is the enemy of your enemy doesn't mean they need to be your friend. Like, I don't think
when
he
they're
has
trying to
gamers'
kill you,
best
no,
interests at heart.
you know when
Exactly. Or they're
it's
trying to say that what you do leads to people killing other people.
because
which Matt
after
Walsh wrote an
after the
article
dust
about.
settles, they're going to try to. I was there when Jack Thompson was going after Satanic Diablo, right, and then going after GTA. I mean, they're going to censor us just as much and maybe more than the left, right? The left wants games, and they understand culture, and they understand how to push it. And the extreme right just writes off gaming and wants to kill it completely. I mean, and then you can look through history and the attacks on culture from ultra conservatives, the attacks on music. We've had the explicit warning labels and all that stuff. They want this stuff banned. You cannot make an alliance with someone just because you happen to agree on one topic, like, hey, this demographic is causing trouble. Let's shit on them together for a while. When their next logical step is to come and cancel you completely.
What do you think Matt Walsh's thoughts on the Stellar Blade protagonist would be? Like, just imagine that for a moment.
There is an opportunity there, but ultimately they're going to have, if they're willing to have a conversation and willing, but I don't know if that's, I don't think that's going to happen. But I guess time will tell. Before we continue, Craig, you got to get out of here. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, my family just got home, which means my daughter's going to be going to sleep in the room next to me. So I can't be saying all these wonderful things. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to hang out with you guys tonight. Thank you very much to everybody. Kabrutus, always a pleasure. Grummz, pleasure, buddy. Melanie, I'll see you on Friday. Looking forward to it. All right.
Have a good one, man. Take it easy.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night. See you guys later.
See you, bud. Later. All right. So good stuff. Good stuff from Craig. What were you gonna say? Somebody? Anybody? Was that you, Malcolm?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Malcolm's like, I'm
say,
trying to work in here. Mark keeps interrupting me. Mark the Cyborg.
Me and my dude, I'm gonna give you such a bear hug. Mark. I will find you, Mark, and give you a bear hug, brother.
Are you coming to Vegas?
I'm pretty small. Yeah, I will be in Vegas. Though.
Are you coming to Vegas, Malcolm?
Oh man, we're gonna have to see if I get let off leash to do that. I might. But no, man. Look, and Grummz is right. I mean, coming from somebody that was sort of steeped in conservative think I've broken away from that. I was doing the whole circuit, with Jesse Waters and stuff, on his prime time and all that. And one thing I can say is that conservative ink will use you. It will use you up. And then, it's like after a while, it'll just stop. Like all the attention, all the clicks and everything will just dry up and you'll just be left out to dry. And the worst thing you can ever do is alienate your own fan base just to appeal to conservative ink. Like that's like the absolute worst move that you could ever make. And because once you're there, you're fucking there and there's nothing there for you. And yeah, the puritanical conservatives are the worst. Like Daily Wire, unfortunately, they suffer from what I've always said about a lot of the conservative commentators, the Ben Shapiro types, the Michael Knowleses. They don't know how to just sit back and analyze the phenomenon as a reporter. They have to be involved in it. That's the issue. And that's why the right has been so uncool as of late. Like the Daily Wire, they went and made a movie. No one told you to make a movie, but conservative commentators don't know how to just analyze and defer to the stars and experts. Like they want to be the stars and experts. That's why God, I'm already forgetting his name. Matt Walsh has literally put himself at the center of Gamergate, talking like he discovered it or he's the one that's there. They have to be the central protagonist, and they suck as protagonists. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. This isn't me starting beef with them, but most of them, they cannot do it. They need to defer to the people. They need to defer to the Jeremys, to the Ryans, to everybody that's involved in the sphere, and just back up. but they won't do that.
And we got somebody who never has had any controversies joining us. So it is Eric July. What up, Rippa?
The ratio is fixed.
Fixed it.
What's up?
Ryan's like,
doing,
I'm
man?
uncomfortable. I need to leave.
Yeah, I got my whiteboard. I've been counting.
Buddy Ryan, stay near the door.
2.5 black people. Now,
Grummz and Kabrutus, I don't know if you guys know Eric, but
Eric's transforming comics.
Yes.
What's up, Grummz? It's nice to finally get on the stream with you. I was just on stream with Kabrutus, so it's all good.
Okay. What stream are y'all on?
Well, we're on Flashcast.
When he was on Flash, you were on, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. So go ahead.
Yeah, can I just say some words about this conservative and gamers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because here in Brazil, it's kind of different. We do have lots of conservative personalities, let's say like this, let's put it like this, who actually support gaming. And they actually, because they are younger. Brazil have this new generation of right-wingers and conservative people, and they tend to play video games and to watch animes and animations, kind of stuff. So here is kind of different, but there is something that I really want you guys to pay attention, because in the last elections in Brazil, the left won. And the left won by 1.1%, something like this. Part of their strategy was, they had a bunch of really popular video game streamers here and YouTube channels to convince youngers. In Brazil, if you want to vote, you have to be at least 16 years old, and you have to have this document, which we call the election title, electoral title, and it's mandatory. Once you have it, it is mandatory for you to go there and vote. Even if you don't want to vote for anyone, you can just vote in no. We call it no here, or white vote, which is going to be to whichever,
Spoiled ballot is what it's called here.
Yes,
Spoiled ballot, like this, an X across the thing or something.
Yeah, something like this. But you have to go there and press a button, So, yeah. They, like I said, the left ended winning by 1% because they know how to reach those younger audience,
Yes.
They do not say bad stuff about their hobbies. They do not demonize what they like. And when I see conservative people, I'm not talking about Match Walsh here. I barely know the guy. I gotta be honest, I've seen some people here saying that, hey, he said bad stuff about gamers and this and that. I'm not familiar with this, okay? I'm not saying anything directly towards him. I'm just saying that if conservatives really want to win the culture war in the long run, they should stop ignoring this kind of stuff, like those kind of hobbies, because video games, they are very, very, very influential. They are a huge influence on some younger people's lives. In Brazil is the same thing, So they should not bash on video games, animes, and all this kind of stuff that would make young people look at them as, hey, those guys hate us. Let's see what I say. Oh, those guys from the left, they actually respect us. So let's talk to them. Let's go to their side. In Brazil, it happened. It could define an election like it did, because the difference was really, really, really tiny, Like I said, it's barely 1%, 1% and 1.2, something like this. And I think it's very, very sad because when conservatives do this, they just are the leftist progressives, you can have all the young audience for you. And I really don't want to see this happening, I really do not want to see this happening. I just wanted to share this.
That's it. No,
Can I talk about the myth of the common cause?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I think it's important to recognize that games are where the left and right unite. And we need to stop the division in our country and bring it together. And we come together as games are like a watering hole. It's where we put aside our differences and we get into a lobby together and we game together, or we shoot each other to take our differences out. Right. But this is not a left or right thing. And to say the common cause is to go get the left, well, you just alienated half the gamers. You know, that cannot be what we unite against. We have to unite against gamers are good. And we're tired of the journalistic BS that's trying to gaslight us 24/7. And we are tired of politics being injected in our game, left or right. We just want a game. That's the common purpose. The common purpose is not to unite against the left. That, I think, is a losing strategy.
100%.
Well, I mean, like, I'm going to try to keep the rant short, but like,
Thank
even
you.
in the
God.
film-
Jesus.
Shut the fuck up, Ryan. You haven't been here for months. I don't want to hear from you.
Yeah, and I'm already
All right?
tired of it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants because you don't like hearing black people talk. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. All right.
I don't mind hearing black people. I just don't like hearing you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Damn.
Anyways, so like back like in the 50s and stuff, when film like a lot of conservatives had a lot of influence on films. In fact, that's where like the rating system came, because they were like, yo, we don't want people like kids being shown movies and stuff that are inappropriate and stuff. So they had a lot of influence on that stuff. And then they kind of, after a while, kind of were like, this isn't really important. I don't think this really has any effect on anything. And they took their hands off of it. And then you slowly started seeing, you know, like a really big pushback against conservative values and family values and stuff like that in the 60s and 70s with certain movies that were being made and stuff. And it's kind of progressed from there. And now we're seeing a situation where, yeah, like, you know, people are starting to go, wow, movies and television really do affect how people think about things and how people perceive things and the perceived value and stuff. And so now you're seeing, you know, like more conservative outlets trying to get into movies and trying to make shows and trying to make, you know, television and stuff. We're seeing it with like, you know, and we see some really good success with like shows like The Chosen and stuff. But the thing is, like, yeah, if you continue to act like and treat things like Malcolm was saying, like the Puritan attitudes, you know, in the 90s we had like the Satanic Panic, and they're like D&D is evil and it's awful and nobody should touch D&D, and Pokemon was evil and Harry Potter was evil and don't touch any of this stuff because it's all evil and satanic and it's going to lead you down the wrong road and stuff. And now all of those things were massively culturally impactful and affected a ton of people, created giant fan bases that are still to this day affecting things. Hogwarts Legacy selling a ton of games and stuff, and all of those people now are silent because they're like, no, I don't want to listen to you. You told me this stuff was terrible, it was going to ruin my life, and now I'm enjoying it and finding a community of people that I like to talk to and engage with and stuff. And there's no alternatives for any of it, you know. And that's I think the biggest thing here is when you're constantly like decrying things and calling things out and trying to treat things like they're evil because you don't understand them, then you create an attitude where the people that are involved in those cultures or involved in gaming or involved in movies, they don't want to listen to you. That you completely discredit your voice at that point, instead of just saying, maybe I don't understand, but I'd like to know, or I'd like to understand. And we've seen that, and I know you and Ryan have interacted with people like Benny Johnson to go, hey, I'm not really a gamer, but I'd love to get to know what's going on with this culture. I'd love to like immerse myself in this and get to know why you guys love this stuff or what's so important about all this stuff. And I think that that's like the right route to go with, because it makes you relevant and people want to hear what you have to say. And it does open up a conversation about bigger cultural issues down the line.
Well, and that's a really good point that I wanted to make, because I know we're kind of having that conversation about, you know, conservative media and things like that. But I mean, Benny showed up at MegaCon, and I'm not going to show like the whole thing real quick, but like Benny showed up at MegaCon and he covered our panel, which was really cool. And we need more stuff like this. And a big shout out to Benny Johnson, who's a massive figure, you know, with conservative media. But he did this, and this was awesome.
The proper enormity of the event can only be seen in a place like this, where you are just wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder in every direction. Superheroes, comic book characters, people of cultural import or relevance, everywhere. And stay incredibly. We're going to the Geeks and Gamers panel to see and stay incredibly based. This was our first comic convention, so I didn't know what to expect when we walked into the Geeks and Gamers breakout session at MegaCon. Look at this packed room, wall to wall, people standing, room only, with some of our favorite creators on the internet: Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, Eric July, RK Outpost, Ryan Kinel, and Jeremy, the founder of Geeks and Gamers. What a kick-ass crew. It was an honor to be invited, and, well, I was never expecting this.
And of course, Ryan is the one that noticed Benny over there and got that shout out. But we need like what Benny's doing. Benny's is he at 2 million subscribers? I mean,
he covered that like a journalist, though, not as if he was going to be the one that came in there and
exactly
talked about the culture himself. Like,
exactly, and
it was respectful too.
It's very much respectful. And Benny will tell us, like he reaches out to me and Ryan all the time and Gary, and he's like, I just want to understand what's going on here. Can you guys explain this to me? It's not like he's coming in there with like a strong opinion as much as he's trying to be educated by people that he knows the world. And yeah, and that's what we need more of is people out there like that. That's just trying to cover it and cover it from that perspective. And so again, hail Benny Johnson. He's awesome. And so I figured that was a good opportunity. Since we're talking about these perspectives, that's all people are really wanting to do is just, give it a little bit of respect. You don't have to be into it. You don't have to, you don't have to be, playing games with us and spending all of your life playing a video game. Just don't talk down to gamers. Don't talk down to nerd culture. Not that complicated. But yet it seems so complicated, and I don't know why. How the hell you been, Rippa? Where you been all day?
Yeah, man, I've been fucking working, man. Damn, nonstop. But I've been good. Man. Just keeping the momentum up with all the stuff that we got going with our books and stuff, and just grinding, man, chipping away. We've had several announcements these past like 5 days as far as the future content is coming out. So the grind doesn't stop, man. It is quite literally a job. We don't just sit around and hope things happen. So we just been grinding.
I hear you on that. Melanie, I see you got to bounce. So
yes.
Okay. Everybody's like, she's been so quiet. There's like 10 people on the panel.
Yeah.
I deal with this every week on Friday Night Tights. They're like, why are they being quiet? When there's 10 people on a panel, sometimes, unless you're you don't steamroll people, okay? But anyway, Melanie.
They had great things to say. There was no need for me to interrupt.
A woman who knows her place.
That's right.
Tell them what you got going on, Melanie.
All right. Yeah, you guys can catch me on YouTube at Melanie Mack Go Boom. Bible Time with Melanie Mack, and then my streams at Melanie Mack.
There we go. So awesome.
And I'll be on Friday Night Tights this week, I think.
Are you going to be on FNT this week? Okay.
Or wait, is it next? I can't remember. I think it's this week, though.
Mark always looking for an opportunity to mention X-Ray Girl for no reason.
I love her. She's wonderful.
Great.
All right, Melanie, have a good one. We appreciate you.
All right. See you guys later.
Yep. Bye. Okay, does anybody else need to bounce? I don't want to keep anybody in these bells. I know, Ryan, you're probably going to leave here in about 15 minutes.
I got about 15,
yeah. So does anybody else need to bounce or anything like that?
I could probably leave when Ryan leaves.
Okay.
11 o'clock should be a good
and again, if anybody at any point needs to leave or wants to leave, just let me know, especially Grummz and Kabrutus. Like, you guys are welcome to stay as long as you want. And you can leave when you want. Just we appreciate you being here for sure. So I guess we'll just try to read some super chats. Unless anybody's got anything they want to say right now. Anybody got any points they want to make or anything?
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
There was one last thing I wanted to get before we move on too far from all the like GG2 stuff and whatever. I think that the primary goal should probably to be that developers and people behind video games don't consistently view making a game as also being a platform in which they need to spread some kind of social good. Otherwise, they're bad people. Like, it's okay to just make a video game. And I think that should kind of be the big thing. It's like, how about we just stop with all the like, well, in order to actually make a good video game, we have to make sure we treat these people this way and these people that way. And it's like, well, when are you?
Oh my God, but you have a social responsibility, dude.
Yeah, no, it's like maybe it's not a platform.
No,
maybe
I just have to make a fun game.
Medium. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
I still think one of the most unhinged tweets we've seen was from that Black Girl Gamers or whatever.
Yeah,
like gamers think that the gaming industry revolves around them and they're wrong. It's like, yeah, heaven forbid the business center around what the customer wants. Like, holy shit.
I know. It is wild. And I do feel that the momentum is slowly but surely shifting, but it's not going to happen overnight. And, you're going to have people that are going to jump into the fold that don't really aren't interested, but they see that the algorithm's picking up this story or whatever. They won't be here forever. That's just part of it. That's going to be in any industry that we see. But it right now, at this point in time, with the people that are talking about it, you can feel the momentum. You can feel the games journalists melting down and their brains breaking. And like I said, the thing with RGT85 is a classic example of that. But before we move on, Grummz has got to bounce. Grummz, it was an awesome opportunity to get you on in here.
Thanks for having me on.
Geeks Gamers, man. So we'll tell them where they can find you. Anything you want to plug, anything. Just let.
Yeah, you can find me at Grummz on Twitter. I've been gathering a lot of followers there recently, just like Kabrutus. It's been really enjoyable. I DM directly with everybody. I engage people directly. I'm very accessible. And we are working on a game. I have a game called a Massive Planetary War Game, and I had no idea how to pitch this before until Helldivers came out. And I'm like, oh, I can finally explain what we're doing with a Massive Planetary War Game. But I'm not big on pitches because I do not like to detract from the important topics that we talk about. But I will say, for more information, sign up on em8er.com. It's pronounced Ember, and sign up is free, and you can be on our mailing list, and we'll tell you more about it there or in our Discord. Thank you very much.
All right. Hey, Grummz, you're always welcome here. If you need anything, let us know. And maybe at some point, if you're okay with it, we could do an interview with you for geeksgamers.com. I can get my writers to, somebody can reach out to you, and we'd like to talk, more about things going on.
Sure thing. All right.
Great
talking to you. Everyone. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Man.
Take it easy. It's awesome having him on, man. Super cool stuff. And now we are gonna. Anybody else got any topics they want to talk about? If not, we're gonna read some super chats. So
yeah. Let's go ahead and get. Let's go ahead and get him. Ryan can't be on the black side of town for too late at night. It gets all dangerous, man. We got too many of us here.
It's true. I'm not lingering. You know what I mean? Walking quick.
Power walk. Side forward.
Yeah, that's right. Don't
head on a swivel.
Exactly. Or just straight ahead. Don't look at anybody.
I was wondering where
I'm just going in the gas station. Gonna walk right out. All right, let's
go. Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.
Man, there's nothing quite like 2 a.m.
I see this
chicken when you're drunk, though.
I see this cash registers behind bulletproof glass. Awesome.
Burglar bars on the doors was your first sign that you probably didn't need to go in, but
Oh, all right, Beardo.
All right. We have a very important special super chat from Fear the Tardo.
Oh, boy.
But it is for a 50. So
50.
Fear the Tardo. No need worry, friends. If Tardo erected resident this November, promise to fight against censorship in gaming. We'll put First Lady Remedy Mack on it. It be her version of Fancy Regan's Say No to Hugs. Boat Tardo, so make America lock it in, yay again.
They got me with Say No to Hugs.
Kabrutus, there's a lot of inside jokes with our audience. So you're gonna see us laughing like retards.
Hey, if that's a common one, I'd never heard it before.
But I'm just saying, like the Fear of the Tardo.
Fear the Tardo.
And there's a lot of accounts. Like we would literally have dead wrestlers in our chat, like arguing about I beat you in the 90s. Like their account. Kurt Angle was, and I know Kurt Angle's not dead, but like Kurt Angle was arguing with Chris Benoit the other day, and then you had the Ultimate Warrior in there.
We're talking about the chatters, right? Not the actual,
not the real wrestlers.
Bobby Lashley.
I like how Mark breaks it down.
Bobby
Mark, we need you on, man.
Bobby Lashley, my favorite one.
What was it? So what did you say?
Me?
Was that you, Beardo? Yeah, you messed it up, right? It was you that
Bobby
called
Lashley.
him. Yeah, Bobby Lashley. He said Bobby Lashley. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was like, I thought I had no idea who Bobby Lashley was. I thought it was a real person.
Yeah.
What? Never.
And now there is a Bobby Lashley account.
Oh man,
he's a real guy.
I see you. That 90 kid says Jeremy's explaining everything like everybody is awesome guy. Yeah, remember that week we had Mally Mouse on, and it was so meme heavy that I felt like I had to explain everything.
It was bad.
Usually, when Jay is here, though, it's worse. It's worse.
Just a general statement. Or?
Yeah, just everything's worse.
Okay.
The memes, everything gets off topic, and we get less super chats.
Tonberry Mazda for a $100.
100.
A 100. Says, here we go. $100 super chat. Gonna say something witty and smart this time, not make Beardo sound retarded again when he reads it. So here goes I. And that's it.
Tonberry Master. Tonberry Master
for the
thank
100.
you, brother. Appreciate you.
Dave Chandler with a 50. The government agencies and NGOs that are supposedly monitoring gaming streams for extremists is just another sign of how desperate the powers that be are getting. They can't control the narrative, so they want to pick off every perceived threat. Thank you, Dave.
100%. Yeah.
Shout out.
No, that's true.
JMV Elite Fan with the 25 on Rumble. Damn, Jay, with those poetry skills, how the fuck do you not have a whole ass anime harem of ladies King Solomon would be jealous of? Well, Jay's
Carolyn in the chat. What up, Carolyn?
Shout out to Carolyn.
What's up, Kara?
I saw your message on Twitter.
Man, we should have read this one when Melanie was here. Cody Warner for a 5 says, Melanie, how do you feel about the Steelers today? I do wish they would have treated Rudolph better and knew that Pickett was a crybaby.
What happened today, Ryan?
Well,
they traded for Justin Fields.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it means
Yesterday.
like any something that happened today.
okay.
But
So he meant
how do you
just
feel
this
about
week,
them
though.
today with all the
Okay.
changes? Russell Wilson,
Okay.
Justin Fields.
How are you feeling, Ryan?
I'm glad Justin Fields' bum ass is out of Chicago, but the fact that all they got is a 6th-round pick is insane.
You guys got Keenan Allen.
Which I love the fact that Keenan Allen. He's going to be a big cap hit, but that's fine. But Justin Fields, the fact that I can't believe we were talking before the year about some retards that had him up for like the MVP discussion, which is like the most retarded thing ever. And now you're trading him for a 6th-round pick. It's just embarrassing that that's all they got for him. But that tells you how the rest of the league feels.
Well, now that they can go ahead and ruin another young quarterback's career, so here we go.
Get a head start. Yeah, I'm done with Justin Fields. Let me give me a new hope, please.
James the Elite Fan with another 25 says, here's a hot take y'all will enjoy. Banjo-Kazooie is better than Mario 64.
You're not alone in saying that. There's a lot of people that feel that way.
You're looking at several years of development between them, though. So, like, I don't know. It's like the first crack at that kind of gameplay style versus maybe the 5th from Nintendo.
But what about Banjo-Tooie?
I think that was on 360, right? Or wait, no, was Banjo-Tooie also N64 and then 360 was the nuts and bolts one?
I was never
I
a
don't
big
know.
Banjo-Kazooie player myself, but I played it a little bit, and I was like, I'd rather just play Mario because I'm such a Mario homer.
I mean, I think if you like Super Mario 64, you'd like
Absolutely.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
Banjo-Kazooie had a lot more.
Go ahead. Hold on.
Oh no, I was about to say Banjo-Kazooie definitely had a lot more of that rare feel to it. Like it felt a lot more
exploration heavy.
adventurous. Yeah, like it was just it's just there's a certain feel that you get from rare games, and I just don't know what it is. It's like, it takes you a lot of places. Like it's more adventurous feeling than like I don't know, Super Mario 64 just felt like maybe I just hate the dry docks level so much, and that's just like clouding my judgment there.
I have a random Banjo-Kazooie like phone or like controller holder.
So hang on, I gotta full screen you. Full screen you. Here we go.
You sometimes just put your nuts in there just to see how it feels.
Yeah. If I'm ever lonely, just put my dick in there. Stroke back and forth.
If you make it to both hands, it doesn't only make
it
it to one.
They look so happy about it though. Look at them.
It's not gay when it's your Banjo-Kazooie statue.
Oh man, that was funny.
If it's your friends, that's not cool.
We got a pretty spicy one here. Lover of Green for a 20, but given the context of the super chat, I think this is just Blab's burner account. I have a message for MCU fan. Blabs is better than Krista Nova. Blabs can sing on command, is more attractive, and can host a podcast for a week without no man. Can Krista top that? Anyway, God bless side scrollers and the 199. Thank you for the 20, Blabs.
I think that was more of a shot at MCU fan than Krista, to be fair.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Lover of Green for another 10. MCU
Hey, listen,
fan.
all I know is right now, Krista does sing all the time, that's true. But right now, $20 means that Blab's winning. So is anybody going to send any in support of Krista?
It might be a $30 right now.
Oh, there you go.
Lover of Green for 10. MCU fan is asking for an apology because I dunked on his queen, Krista of Geeks and Gamers. I won't, but I will concede that he is persistent. That's enough simp jokes for one live stream.
I mean, technically, Chris is in both of those super chats.
That's true. Carrier, a Raccoon City story for $20. To Max Payne fans, by now, remakes of Max Payne 1 and 2 are confirmed by Remedy. However, it's no secret Sweet Baby has worked with Remedy for Alan Wake 2. Thoughts on Max Payne remakes given that info? Not to mention James McCaffrey passing away. Rest in peace.
Yeah, James McCaffrey was the voice of Max Payne in Max Payne 1 and 2. Maybe 3. I don't know about 3. But because 3 was made by Rockstar, not just by Remedy. But if I don't play those, it'll only be because Remedy's been working with Epic pretty exclusively, and that's why I didn't play Alan Wake 2 because it was only on the Epic Game Store, and I don't use that store. So, but I love Max Payne 1 and 2. They're great games, so I hope they do a good job. As far as if they'll be faithful to them, can't tell you yet.
I appreciate Mark will always take a shot at Epic Games. Just because.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah, it's just even if it's like he's always going to give them a stray. He's like,
did you guys?
Is it because they're gay, Mark? Do you hate gay? You hate gay people?
No, not at all. I think gay people are fine. I went to an art school. I'm from Toronto. Jeez.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
He spends a lot of time here in America. So
well, I love that he wasn't like, no, I'm not
gay.
gay.
He's
like,
if I was homophobic than if I wasn't. Trust me. But
I was just asking. It was a concern.
Well, what was the last thing we were talking about there?
I want to
gays.
Doesn't matter. Random distraction. I was looking at the Acolyte trailer to see if it was ratioed yet, and it's almost ratioed.
Holy shit!
But the funnier thing is, you know how this entire thing starts with like close your eyes. The first fucking comment: close your eyes, alien. I can't. Look at this fucker.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, it's an alien.
Dude, when I was watching the trailer, I was looking for one white male main character, and I don't know if I saw one.
There's one.
There's one who gets force suggested. Basically.
I wasn't tracking that stuff at all. I just thought it looked boring and shitty.
I'm kind of digging that Disney's like making all the bad guys black women though. They're like, yeah, there's gonna be a bad person. It's gotta be a black woman.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess like we weren't planning on talking too much about that, but we talked about that today on Daily. But while we're at it, we might as well show everybody this one. I have not seen this interview clip, Ryan. I'm assuming this has been around
for a while. Star Wars Celebration.
This one
ish, or no? This must have been for their Empire photo shoot they did or something.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Have you seen this one, Ryan?
Like
yeah, this is the one where I have seen it recently.
Okay. In Wokeness tweeted this one out, and then Elon responded to it. So, yeah, here we go.
When I saw Frozen as a grown ass woman, I cried through the entire movie. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters, the like de-villainization of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy, the concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this that is, for lack of a better term, Disney, meaning something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person. And I think I would have had a completely different life. And so I really was inspired by it and was like, God, I would love to make a story like this. And so when I was developing this original idea to pitch to Kathleen, I thought, well, it can't just be that, when you're pitching Star Wars, you have to pull from what, George was also interested in. Like, it can't just be like, well, I'm referencing, especially if you're going to set something, during the High Republic or end of High Republic into prequels, you don't have the Skywalker saga. Like, you can't reference a character that was created by George and or Filoni. Like, you have to create your own new characters.
Horrible. You know what? I bet the idea of two sisters getting it on together probably did destroy her. She probably needed a new pantsuit after that.
Oh, is that what happens in Frozen?
No. Well, no.
You just made that up.
Like a lot of weird fucking weirdos wanted to see.
I didn't see Frozen, man.
Well, so I think that instead of putting like the SJW chick's head on like wrestler bodies, I'm just gonna put them on her body. She's probably just
got shoulders like a linebacker.
Yeah, dude, she's got a Brock Lesnar build, like straight up looks like Brock Lesnar.
Got a Brock Lesnar chin.
I know it. But yeah, so
the wise words of Quarter Black Garrett: too ugly to assault.
Yes,
man,
very.
That's why
much
she was
so.
safe from Harvey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Oh my God. Anyway,
with that
Disney
being
Star
said,
Wars.
I'm gonna bounce.
All right,
Hold on, real quick.
Oh.
Janine King for 20 says, "I'm so happy Ryan's back."
Look at that.
Oh, thank you, Janine. We got that right in before I fucking leave y'all again.
But you might listen. I'm not gonna say when. I'm just saying that you might see a guest appearance from Ryan on a Mario Kart stream in the near future. I don't know when, but we might see that.
Damn, Ryan, what did you do?
I'm being punished.
Yeah, it's like Atlas got to put the world on his back again.
Is this like an apology or something, or is this a humiliation ritual?
Push that fucking
I came in last fantasy football, so yeah.
Oh, there we go.
The hill again.
Yeah, you'll see me pop up from time to time. But hey, good being back. Kabrutus, good to talk to you, man. And we'll see everybody later. Am I getting blackmailed? Yes, pretty much.
We know about the photos, Ryan.
That's what it fucking feels like.
We caught you putting your dick in Banjo-Kazooie's hands.
There was another one in the other hand.
All right, Ryan, get the hell out of here, man.
All right, talk to you guys later.
All right, later. All right, Mark the Cyborg, you got to get out of here too, right?
I gotta get going as well.
Hey, Mark.
Mark the Cyborg.
We know.
He has the
I thought I was
best
gonna say
Hi,
goodbye.
everybody. I'm Mark the Cyborg at the very end of the stream. Yeah.
My favorite part.
I didn't know he was going to give me an outro. I thought I was going to start saying goodbye and telling people where to find me.
Of course. So my favorite parts were that clip where Ryan, where they're playing, what was that game called? The horror
Phasmophobia?
game. Phasmophobia, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you did the scare thing on him, and then he freaks out, you're like, no, it's just me, Mark Cyborg. Like it's so good.
I think the only reason that worked is because all you guys had previously been playing on consoles mostly, and you didn't know the Discord join call sound yet.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I was able to get in without anyone knowing. Otherwise, it'd be like, who just joined the call? Now that's what you'd say. But I knew my audience. I was like, I think I could get back in there without noticing anything. And then I could just say something scary into the microphone.
You got him. Mark, what do you got going on, man?
I have my own channel where I stream games and have stream clips go up where I do rants about video games where, it's usually just me talking. So I don't get interrupted. And it edits out things that I say that are too tismy. So that's good too. But also I host a show called Metals Forge with Metal Commander, a friend of Mahler from EFAP. I was actually on EFAP last week. And next Wednesday, I believe the Halo Season 2 EFAP TVs are starting. And I'll be on that watching Season 2 of the Halo show. And
yikes.
It made for some fun content, but it was also horrible. Like it made me sad that there's people with money making a Halo show, and this is the best they've got.
It sucks. Yeah.
But anyways, thanks very much for having me on, Jeremy, Eric, Malcolm. Nice to meet you, Malcolm. Nice to talk to you again, Eric. Epic Mike, Kabrutus. Great to talk to you finally, and Fear the Beardo. Take it easy, man. Great beard.
Hey, have a go, Mark. Take it easy, brother. All right, man. Mark the Cyborg. He's awesome.
Good, Mark.
Okay, Bruce, are you good? You good to hang, or you need to bounce?
Depends how much longer will it last.
We're probably gonna go for another 30 minutes, probably. So
it's okay. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Go for it, Beardo.
All right, Matt HTX for $20. Hey, I DM'd you on Twitter a short of mine to maybe show of the SpaceX Starship launch I went to. Thanks. Hail Tuesday Night's main event.
Nice. I'll see if I can find it.
Lucian Yeager for $20. A question for you all. With the wokies tearing down the rest of society around our ears, is it just defending our space and community as gamers enough? Eventually, we'll have no space anyway, even if the right wins.
I mean, I think that we're gonna think new things will be created. I mean, Ripa's a classic example of that. And there's a lot of other examples out there of people creating new things, but it takes time to create things that last and have an impact It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Even if you create something that's successful overnight, that doesn't mean that it's just guaranteed to automatically have long-term success. So it takes time. And so, I mean, look, I mean, whatever it is, you know, like I had a YouTube channel. I've told the story many times. I had a YouTube channel that was around for several years that it had less than 1,000 subscribers. It took me forever to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then obviously once I found, you know, my way and learned what I was doing and established an audience, that was good for me, but it took time. It doesn't happen overnight. So the passion of fans and nerds and people out there will always fill the void. But it's just going to take time.
What do you guys think about this? Real Zick, it's not a super chat, but they said the right already lost, but this is a new battle. There's some truth to that?
I need more specifics. What do you think, Rippa?
Oh, man, that's culturally, like with entertainment. I mean, I don't think it's like I think it's more of a battle that's continuous. It's not like if you want to be honest with the situation, and yeah, you could make the argument that they're losing, for sure. They almost have zero presence in anything, as far as and a lot of that's. I know you guys were talking about this earlier. My bad. Obviously, me being late, I didn't get to chime in on that. But a lot of that has to do with self-inflicted wounds. I mean, some people kind of talked about the 90s and, you know, how a lot of the quote-unquote conservatives were adamant against. It wasn't just video games. It was music from like especially like with metal and shit like that. Like they were always sort of demonizing it. So really, all the left had to do was exist, and that's how they won. But yeah, a lot of it just has to do with them just getting in their own way. I mean, they still do that stuff to this day. You know, they get in the way of progress. So for sure, I'd argue just being in multiple entertainment like sub genres and industries, be it from music and now with comics. Yeah, you can make the argument that they're losing, but I wouldn't say that they have already lost. Like, I think this is an ongoing battle, and victory to me is going to look a lot different. I think if people are expecting that victory is going to look like the head of a multinational mega corporation is some staunch quote unquote right winger, I don't think that's how this is going to look. I just think it's going to be far more widespread, far more decentralized. And they're just not going to have a complete stranglehold on the industry. And to me, that's a more preferable outcome than anything.
Yeah, I mean, the days of like, the fact is we are winning. We're just winning in different ways. Like, again, look at what's going on right now. You know, with all these different pockets of people that are out there. I mean, like, I'll just show this right now because I just saw this because this is geeksgamers.com. I consider this a win that we have a website that we're covering all this shit. Like we got an article covering the RGT thing that just happened earlier. You know, George, like this is my dream, is to always have had a website that covers shit. You know, when I would watch IGN and see the website that they had and just looking like, man, I wish I had a site like that. Well, I do have a website like that right now. Is it a win if not enough people are reading it? Well, what is the number that makes it a win or not makes it a win? You know what I mean? We got a team of people. We got people that go over there and support it. We got people that fill up the forums and go in there and talk. And we've got thousands of people watching this live stream right now. That's a fucking win. I'm winning. We're winning.
I think in that capacity, yeah, for sure. I think that's what it's going to look like in the future anyway. Yeah. I just think that's the natural progression of just how these are just economics in general is working right now. I think in entertainment, the day of that mega corporation, like new ones, like kind of popping up out of nowhere and just dominating the entire market share, I think those days are over with. News agencies are kind of lost right now because YouTubers are kicking their ass. Like, it's just going to look a lot different, I think is what this is. It's just not, and that's okay. Like, I don't want people to think that, who are giving it a shot, to think that they have to be comparable to whatever the output of a mega corporation is for there to be some sort of victory being established. I don't think that has to happen. I just think that you can see a lot of success. And yeah, it's probably not going to look like a mega corporation, but that doesn't make it a success.
Yep,
or not
100%.
a success.
Well, like, and that's the thing too. Like, these mega part of the corruption is because these mega corporations are beholden to shareholders and stockholders, and like the thing is Sweet Baby Inc. One of the things a lot of people didn't talk about is the fact that BlackRock is behind, like, has a lot of money in that company and stuff, and we already know that those guys are like pushing stuff, and they have controlling stakes in Disney and Pepsi and all these other corporations and stuff, and so the problem is, like, once you lose control of your company, like, it's not yours anymore. When you go public like that, you don't have control. You don't get to have say. And all it takes is like one or two of the right people to walk in and say the right things to the right people. And now all of a sudden you're dealing with DEI audits. You're dealing with all this stuff. And a lot of that stuff didn't come from below. It came from the top down. Like they were like saying, yo, they got to the big people's ears and they said, BlackRock was like, hey, if we want a cultural shift, you have to make it happen. Sometimes you just have to force it to happen, because the reality is they know that if they push to a certain level, there'll be a response to stop it. But that's not what they're looking for. They're looking to see how much ground can we gain before we lose, so that when it comes back this way, we still have gained a lot of ground anyways. Like they already know, hey, we've already taken a lot of ground, so how much can we prevent from losing when things shift back the other way? Because that's what they're kind of banking on, is being like, the next time it shifts, they won't be able to stop us. The next time we come into power, they won't be able to stop us, because we'll already have so much more ground than we did before. Instead of going like, no, we need to. Some of these companies just need to fail. They have to fail. They have to fall. They have to be destroyed, and they have to separate so that smaller companies can do that and stop giving other people control of their creativity and what they're trying to build.
Well, I mean, that's what they're doing right now. I mean, you got to look at all the measures are taken. Like, you got Call of Duty games now having AI actually monitor the chat, so you can't even say gamer words anymore. And they're selling that kind of software to other games and selling the idea. You get consultants that come in and tell you, okay, well, what you need to do is you need to prevent toxicity, and then your game will be okay. And what is toxicity? Well, it's going to be all the things that make gamer culture, pretty much uncontrollable, which is, that sort of freedom to share ideas, build a culture, build a camaraderie that's outside of, pretty much the mainstream narrative. Because that's really what games are at the end of the day. We're trying to escape from, a lot of the shit that we deal with during the day. And so they want to take that away. And if they do that, they take away another vector for us to pass these ideas.
Yep. Well said. Well said. All right. Let's keep powering through. We got to stop letting Mike answer, or we're never going to get done.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I kept it brief.
Hayden for a 50 says.
That's what he says to his wife. So, I kept it brief,
that is
babe.
true, yeah. Come on. It was only only 30 minutes.
You got another 50 out of the deal, so
Stop
we're good.
crying. You're good.
Son of a bitch, let me power through. Hayden for a 50. In regards to the right losing or winning the culture war, keep in mind the left and cult have been going at the culture for over 100 years.
Well, I think that's the important part. That's arguably the most important part. Like, it didn't happen yesterday, right? This was a long time infiltration, because they recognized that how important that was going to be, especially with like culture and entertainment. That's where the right lost, per se, is that they didn't understand just how valuable that was to influencing basically the upcoming generation. So, I mean, just to put that into perspective, you think of a very prominent, outside of like Christianity, right? A very prominent cultural thing that the quote unquote right owns. It's anymore. You don't even got NASCAR anymore, right? You don't even got that shit anymore. There's really nothing else. And that's because of they played the long game. This wasn't something that just happened yesterday, for sure.
Yeah, it's true.
And then says, the not crazy people have a long way to go. It won't ever be snuffed out. It's an ongoing battle and will be. Thank you, Hayden, for the 50. Dave Chandler for 25. Oregon Trail on computers in every school lab taught us about settling the West. Games like Call of Duty have probably done more to teach young people about military history than the school system. The lesson, don't dismiss games.
Facts.
Oh, that's it, man.
Except for recent Call of Duty. The Whiskey Rebellion for $10. Have to admit, I'm here for the return of the Sergeant Hatred, Ryan Kinel. Matthew Hammond for a 10. Did you see someone at Kotaku try to go after RGT85 over his comments about Sweet Baby Inc?
Yes, we have an article on geeksgamers.com right now. Hey, I got to show Kabrutus something. It's something I haven't shown in a long time. All right, and this is our Mario Kart clip of how every Mario Kart race ends. Our boy Uche's in here, the late great Uche. This right here, this is Kabrutus. This. If you've ever needed anything to symbolize geeks and gamers, this is it right here.
Okay.
There we go. Fuck you, Benny.
Whoa!
And I got Benny.
Whoa! What did I get hit by? What the fuck?
That's all I say in this fucking game. This game, that's bullshit. I go from 5th place to 12th place on the last fucking turn. I got hit 4 times in a row.
Yeah. It's such a crazy clip, man.
You guys are just too toxic, and I love it. I love it. You know.
Yeah. Oh man, freaking Uche in there. So that's crazy, man. But
Monty Gummo for a $10. Don't give video game journalists, aka activists, what they want. Hate clicks. They still need to monetize, and they need to monetize ad revenue. Learn to use archives.
Yeah, it's when I was reading that Verge article, I was working on a video on it, and the life of a YouTuber. The Verge article where they didn't reach out to you, Kabrutus. I recorded a fucking video on it, and I was muted the whole goddamn time. And I just gave up. I'm like, fuck this. And I was reading the archive, though. I was making sure. And I was promoting the archive. I'm like, don't clickbait. Don't give these idiots clicks. Just, go to the archive. And I looked and I was muted the whole fucking time. I'm like,
I just want to clarify one thing. That person who wrote that article, she tried to reach me.
She did. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she did. I just ignored her, but she did. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification on that. So, and honestly, it's the best move because we all know that they're fishing. It's almost like, I don't know how many of you watched the Don Lemon Elon Musk interview, but
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sorry to my audience because I did a reaction to the whole thing last night. Every question that Don Lemon was asking, he wasn't asking questions to get answers. He was asking questions to get sound bites and manipulate and basically get hit pieces written about Elon Musk. Every single question was a loaded question in order to get a response that they can use against him. And far be it from me to tell Elon Musk what to do. He's the richest man in the world. And he's one of the smartest people in the world. And he's he'll go down in history as a historical figure. He walked right into that thing, man. And he gave Don Lemon all the ammo. And I'm like, what are you doing, Elon? Like, why are you answering these questions? Why are you giving him any substance? That nothing was good faith. There wasn't a good faith bone in Don Lemon's body with that whole interview. It was all bad faith questions, bad faith manipulation. It's bullshit. Yes. And that's a gaming journalist.
Yes. Did you see the thread I made on Twitter with the print screens of, because the person who wrote the Verge article, she got to talk with one of my moderators, and I got the whole conversation they had. And if you look at the article and read the conversation, that's exactly what she did. She twisted a lot of stuff. She just ignored a lot of stuff, and she tried to make us look like a bunch of bigots, extremists, haters, racists, and all of this. Yep. And this is why I don't talk to them. I do not trust them.
Yep.
That's why.
Well, I've looked, like, the gaming media hasn't shifted as much as like the movie side of things. So like I've noticed this since The Last Jedi. So when The Last Jedi came out, that's when, my YouTube channel started to take off. And of course I was a fan of a lot of the older YouTube media side of things, like the Colliders and all of that, because they kind of dominated the movie sphere on the YouTube side. And then The Last Jedi came out, and then everything kind of fell apart. And then the different creators started to rise up, and that's where like Gary and Drinker and everybody. And now it's like the whole movie sphere on YouTube, completely different now. I'm thinking the same thing's going to happen in the gaming side of things now with all of this going on. And whether it's websites, YouTube channels, whatever, it is happening, though, right before our very eyes. So if you're a passionate gamer, get out there and make yourself a YouTube channel. Call this bullshit out.
Let's see. Josh Brolin's poetry for a $5. A haiku for Ryan. He was gone so long, spreading positivity, his cheeks wide open. Thank you, Josh Brolin. Kurt Angle stare for a $2. For democracy, treason.
Treason.
Let's see. Lord Botha for a $5. George Lucas saying creating isn't for amateurs is the most gaslighting, pull the ladder up after me statement in years.
Yeah, I mean, again, my only comments on that were, if anybody's like surprised about that, you really haven't been paying attention. George Lucas was never like, I think people had this idea that George Lucas was walking around with a MAGA hat, like trying to take over Star Wars, like Denzel and Crimson Tide or something, like take over the ship and have a mutiny or something. Like that never was the case. You know, like George sold Lucasfilm for $4 billion and he hired Kathleen Kennedy to take over. And maybe he was unhappy with the creative decisions that happened after that, but he was never like one of us from that perspective. Never was. So
Linko Kenobi for a 10 says, hey, Jeremy, I may have deleted the email, but I still have the video that I kept in file. Would that be enough?
Yeah, I mean, just send me the video, but I would, without the actual email, I would need to see what they said. So that would be the thing I would need.
There's always trash, right? You can go through your deleted emails.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bert for a 199. A warm welcome back to the hard R triple K Ryan Kinel. Matthew Griffith for a $10. As a concept artist, and I've given up on AAA and now work with indie teams of ex-Halo devs, and I've heard horror stories about work practices and leadership. Indie is the future.
And that's really what it's supposed to be, man. That's gamer culture. Gamer culture was Web3 before Web3 even came about.
Yeah.
Godzilla's Greaser for a $5. And I follow up to my comment on Thursday. The other two Resident Evil games in my top 5 are Code Veronica and Zero. So he had the RE remake, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, OGs, Code Veronica, and Resident Evil 0. Okay. Thank you for the follow-up. Shadow Saiyan for a 5. All hail the Helldivers. Let's play that animation again.
Man, that animation's so good. I don't have that file in my StreamYards, but I will play that for my intro for my next Helldiver stream. It's phenomenal.
Kara Lynn for a 10. I see hot chocolate decided to show up on a cold day. The chat thanks you, Malcolm. Whoa.
I want to read this one real quick because Justin for $9.99 says, did conservatives use G.I. Joe to promote their ideas in the 80s? I don't really know how to answer that question per se. I would generally say no. Was G.I. Joe used to promote certain ideas? Possibly, yes, especially with like a lot of the PSAs. But that's not the problem. And I think that's what is misunderstood. There's not a problem if there's a thing that is out there that is promoting anything. The problem is the entire industry is pushing one ideology, and they don't allow for any other ideology to be out there or any other person within that industry to have that ideology. That is the issue. So I don't know if that's a loaded question in order to try and be a gotcha, but that's a fundamental misunderstanding of the problem. I don't care if someone believes something or if someone is looking to take their creation that they've done from the ground up and utilize their creation for whatever. We are seeing people hijacking pre-existing franchises and properties that they had nothing to do with. They had no connection to whatsoever. And now they are taking those properties over and hijacking them and pushing their own personal ideology into something because they didn't want to do the work to build something from the ground up. And if you are in that same industry and you reject that type of mindset, you get ran out of that industry and you get blacklisted. That is the problem. This is not about individual choices or individual decisions or anything like that. I mean, fuck. Sergeant Slaughter turned on the United States of America in fucking WWF. I mean, he literally like turned on America. So, I mean, did that push conservative values? Like, kids were crying because their hero Sergeant Slaughter turned on America. So it was a different world.
Japanese animal control for $10. Hi, Ryan. If you see a furry at a convention, you know who to call. We'll let him know. Teddy Long for a $5. Epic.
Holla, holla.
Sexual chocolate Mike. Tonight, you will go one-on-one with
The Undertaker.
Hey, you wasn't here to see that.
Beardo's secret illiterate racism for a $10. The conservatives are just as censoring as the left. There are certain topics you can't honestly address with them, such as gaming, MGTOW, and holding reckless women accountable for their actions. Thank you for the 10.
Thanks for that last super chat.
Yes.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
fight
no
the
problem, Mike.
Undertaker. Yeah.
Celluloid Dream for a $5. First time I heard D-Day Cobra, I thought it was a gay OnlyFans account.
I've told him many times. D-Day Cobra is my gamer tag. And when I started to have like a Twitter handle and online, I couldn't put at Jeremy. That wasn't available. And so I decided to go with my Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, old school days of like my gamer tag. I was like, I'll just call myself D-Day Cobra. That's not a lot of people are going to call themselves D-Day Cobra probably. And I just kind of stuck with it. So here we are.
There you go. Kellen, KMK for a 10. Rippa, can we get a campaign goal for Bob the Goat and Eggman, a.k.a. Mo Bitches, to be featured in a future comic?
It's funny. I found it. It was a picture. I think my wife found it of me and Bob, like when I was a kid. For those that don't know, Bob the Goat is a real goat. It's my goat. But yeah, I'm down to canonize Bob. I can't speak about Mo Bitches, but Bob, I'm down to canonize for sure.
Hell yeah. Derek for a $5. Melanie says Timothy Chalamet was so manly despite being so small. Will I have this same energy, but I'm 6'3", just saying.
Yeah, I knew when she said that, a lot of the chat gonna be like, oh, hey.
Dave Chandler for a 5. Anyone think they can pull off a live action Inuyasha? It's kind of like Titan, absurd creatures and characters that don't translate well from anime.
Live action stuff. I mean, some stuff is difficult to translate to live action. The problem is, like with anime specifically, they always try to make it look like realistic or like have some kind of weird realism to it. Like, what would it look like if it was in our world? And I'm like, people don't really care. Just like, I mean, I get you have to adapt it to a certain level, but I mean, I think what was it? Detective Pikachu did a pretty good job of showing you like you can translate things that are bizarre and weird looking into like the real world without making them look completely different or goofy or whatever. So I don't know. I think Inuyasha would be a hard one to do, but I think it could be.
Yeah, I don't even think they can make Tit Saiga look right. There's so much that Detective Pikachu did that almost all of Hollywood has been unable to do that I wouldn't even embrace as a norm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Raiden Cage for a $10. Also, some of the so-called black consulting companies are salty that they can't get Korean or white men. Keep that in mind. Look up Koreans are racist, so-called racist.
Okay.
Thank you for the 10.
Kevin, we got Kevin with 10 gifted memberships.
Let's go, baby.
We got River Miles with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, River Miles. And we got D What with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. And we got War Machine with 5 gifted memberships. And we got Jesus, Jay Schwalbach, you crazy bastard. $40 on locals.
Oh my goodness.
It says Kabrutus gives I got a Brazilian a whole new meaning. Now he's my favorite third world refugee. P.S. Stay where you're at. We're full. Sorry, Dan Vask. God damn it. Schwalbach. So just so Kabrutus knows, so Schwalbach is a crazy bastard.
He's gonna explain it.
I'm gonna explain it. Huh? He sent a picture?
You sent a picture with that.
God. Can we show it?
Yeah. It's
All right. Let's
it's
see
fine.
it. You can share it.
Um,
Go ahead. Have fun with that one. Oh God.
it's just a little kitty.
Oh, okay.
I love cats. That's a sphinx. I love cats.
There you go.
Good old Schwalbach, man. Good old Schwalbach. Anyway, he's just he's a crazy bastard. So we love him. We love him.
And Aquaman for 2. Stuttering Craig hasn't seen Lord of the Rings. Unsub.
Yeah, what the hell was up? What the hell is up with that?
That was a curveball.
That was weird, dude.
That's not even like one of those hot takes, like, oh, I've never watched Harry Potter. Or I haven't watched it. Because you're like, oh, wow, look at cool. I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I'm like, so you're depriving yourself of
I
art?
am 1000% going to have Gary Black. He's going to call him out on Friday
that's a
Night
serious
Tights.
issue.
Yeah, like Gary might it might be.
If I had known when we were down in Florida that he hadn't watched it, we would have made him do it.
Yeah,
he would have lost all his freedom right then and there. He would have had to watch it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to allow him back on main event until we get that. We need to get that corrected. We need to get that corrected.
That's some big fig energy right there. Yeah,
and he needs to he's working on the Helldiver, so he's got to get that downloaded. So that nobody guy for 50 says the established studios and media are all on one side politically. That's why all the pushback seems to come the hardest from one side, but the general pushback is from all sides. I just want well-written, agenda-free games. Same here. This is why Helldivers is connecting with so many people right now. And if they do a good job of keeping up with this game, it's not going to slow down. I mean, it really is fantastic.
Well, I don't know if you heard, Jeremy, but like there's straight up like a third faction is being teased. They're getting ready to drop new mechs, drop new guns. What I was told, and I know Jay Hailstorm talked about this too, was that they took their entire release schedule and fixed it and changed it around so that it would work for this big of an audience, so that people are constantly getting updates and getting new things so that they don't get bored with the game. So these guys are killing it right now.
Yeah, especially if they're not going to have PvP. You got to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna go for like just a couple more, and then we're gonna have to do a square up because we are over the 3.5 hour mark.
Okay,
so
I'll try to bust out a few.
Yep.
Justin Akinsola for a 10. Wasn't a gotcha. I was just asking. Thank you, Justin, for the 10. Lofty Beardo for a 5. Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 game isn't ugly. I think she's attractive in her unique way. Thank you for the 5. Lofty Beardo. Cody Warner with a 199. Thank you, Cody. Ministry of Wrong Thinking for a 199. Is Kabrutus Dan Vask more talented non-gay brother?
Yes, he is. All right, listen, I do not tolerate this type of talk in my chat. Subhuman.
That's a quick instant ban.
Why do you gotta hurt me by letting me know the reality that I'm never gonna Titanfall? First of all, Kabrutus, did you play Titanfall?
Of course, man. I'm a huge fan of Titanfall 2. It's one of the best first-person shooters. I mean,
one of the greatest ever, and it's so sad.
Jeremy's best friend.
For me, it is the modern version of Metal Warriors from SNES.
Dude, the mechanics, the pilot, the wall running, the map design is. Oh my god! Did we just become best friends? Because I think we did. Because Titanfall.
Get the fuck out of here!
All right, as you become more and more influential and famous in the gaming world, Kabrutus, can you make me one promise that you will get Titanfall back and reestablished? And
fix Titanfall for me,
fix
please.
Titanfall. Fix Titanfall.
I'll give my best. You have my word, man.
Thank you. All right, I'm happy now. I am happy. Oh my
Coley
god.
for a 5. You must construct additional pylon. Thank you for the 5. Mr. Dangs for a $2.79. Couple bucks for Beardo's beard dye. The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Means you dye your beard, bro. Because
I
you're
don't color my
old.
beard. I got grays in this bitch.
Old as
199.
fuck,
Let's go. Mr. Dangs for a $2.79 again. Alabama's hair probably is real. Hail 199. Thank you, Mr. Dangs for another $2.79. I'm just trolling. Thanks. Vertidario for $1. Thank you. Cellular Dream for a $1.99. Ryan is gay. Crank and the Hog for a $5. Shout out to Kabrutus, who proved that Brazilians can gain a ton of followers fast, unlike Dan Vask, who is gay and lost his bet. Mr. Dangs for another $2.79. We like Beardo. Hey, he's not too bad. Orange Gonton for another $1.99. Hey Beardo does a lot. He really tries at reading. Thank you. Andre CR for a $2,500 in check. Kabrutus, do you know why Dan Vasquez is gay? Harambe. Harambe for a $5. Panel question. Thoughts on the ADL trying to push for regulations in gaming?
It's not surprising, but Kabrutus wanted to answer that question. Did you know Dan Vasquez was gay?
Okay, I got okay. Let me just say this. Okay, let me just clarify this. I knew Dan Vasquez from his YouTube channel way before I became this, kind of famous that I am right now. But please, guys, stop saying stuff like that because I never talked to the guy. I don't want him to think that I'm saying bad stuff about him. You guys are making me laugh at those jokes. He's gonna think that I'm laughing at him. No.
You heard it here first, Dan. Kabrutus thinks you're gay. You're on the list.
You heard it here first, Dan.
You're on the fucking list.
No, I do not. He's my fellow Brazilian compatriot. We gotta unite, okay? I have full respect for them, Vasquez.
Kabrutus is going to start another Steam blog about the gay games that Dan Vasquez plays.
Dan Vasquez played this game.
Dan Vasquez played this game. Don't play it.
Don't say this. Don't say. I'm not. If you see this list, it wasn't started by me. I just want to say this. All right. I don't
figure out how to start a community on Steam. Yeah.
So Kabrutus, I'll tell you real quick. So we have this show that we're probably going to bring back called Bragging Rights, and it's me, Dan, and Tommy Tron, and we basically we do a lot of retro collecting. Games, whatever, toys, movies, whatever. And we were like, well, we already do the collecting. Why don't we do like a competition, like once a month? Like we bring all the things that we've collected and then the chat votes on it. And it kind of started getting out of control because after the first couple of months, it was like really innocent. And then we started getting like spending a lot of money to compete with each other. And then we all started going broke. So we dialed it back a little bit. So I genuinely found like the silent issue Snake Eyes G.I. Joe comic. It's like iconic. All right. So I was so proud of this. And so I presented it on Bragging Rights one month. And I was talking about how impactful it was because how much I love G.I. Joe. This is an iconic Marvel comic. And I presented it and I had the story. And I'm like, I've won this thing, man. I've won this competition. And Dan, because he's all like, the women love him. He's all handsome. He's this big rock star. And starts telling like this story about like walking on the beach and out there with his family. And he's trying to make it all fucking romantic. And he ends up finding like a whalebone. And he presents this whalebone as that's his retro pickup for the month. But he told this romantic story and all the women in the chat ended up voting for him over me having the silent issue of Snake Eyes. And he won. And he ruined the whole fucking game because this was all meant to be retro pickups. And he knew he lost. He had some retarded PC games and he didn't want to present those. So he brought this whalebone story. And he's like, oh, my grandmother and my grandfather were with me. And he's like, all the women in the chat, like, Dan, you're so handsome. It's bullshit. All right. So Dan Vasquez will forever be gay. And I support you starting this theme group. All right. Of the gay games that Dan Vasquez played. And I think it'll have more followers than your Sweet Baby Inc. group.
Yeah, you'll never name again, Dan.
Going to create it for you.
Yeah.
I just didn't, did he really show the whalebone?
Yes. Yes.
It was like part of its spine or something. It was a huge piece of bone.
So then the more of the lore, the guy that sent the super chat, the $40 one that I was telling you about, the Jay Schwalbach guy. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing happens with the whalebone, and I'm really mad about this. And not like really mad, obviously, And so I've made a meme of it and everything. So at our Vegas meetup a few years ago, Jay Schwalbach, I'd never met him. Him and his wife come to the meetup. And I'm inside meeting all, the people that were coming there. And they're like, hey, there's somebody that wants to meet you. I was like, all right. So I have to go through the crowd. I go out there and it's Jay Schwalbach. He has this like giant like box, this long box. And it looks like a baseball bat or something. And I don't know what it is. And he's like, hey, I brought you something to beat the hell out of Dan Vasquez with next time you have a competition. He's like, I saw the whalebone episode. This is going to destroy him. I'm like, what the hell did you bring me? He's like, I had it imported from Alaska. I'm like, okay. I open it up and it's a walrus penis bone. Like it's the bone of a walrus's penis.
Is a walrus penis so big that it even has its own bones?
Yes.
It could be a walrus tusk,
No,
but
it's
a penis
They have
bone?
a giant bone in their penis. It's a straight up actual bone inside their penis. Yeah.
I wish my penis had bones too.
No, you don't. You roll over in the middle of the night, you snap that bitch off, it's over. Yeah.
Oh yes, so there, Malcolm was completely like, "What the hell is?"
Do you have
happening?
pictures of this? I want to see this. Do you have pictures?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
send it. About the walrus penis. Walrus penis.
Okay,
Not-
so
not-
Steph, Steph, I know. Steph, do you have the bragging rights episode where this happened?
Big picture didn't happen.
Or if somebody,
I have the whale bone, or not the whale, the
you have the whale bone. You've been doing it with
what
the whale
the
bone.
fuck is going on?
I have the
I
walrus.
want to
Here,
see
I'll share it.
the walrus penis bones.
I have the walrus penis.
It's on clips. It's on clips. Says Hailstorm. Okay, pull it up and here we go. All right, here we go. Right here. So Dan, here we go. We are back. Bragging rights has returned, everyone. All right. So I've only got one thing to show, and I only need one thing to show. I only need one thing to show. Now, a few months ago, Dan Vask brought out a whale bone. Bone that I found at the beach. So I decided.
Oh my
I would
god!
have to search. All over this great land. I searched through mountains, through seas. I got in fights. I got jumped. I went through some bad neighborhoods. It was all for you. It was all for all of you. Okay. So it bothered me. It bothered me that Dan, won with a whale bone. Okay, it bothered me, and I went through the depths of hell and back. Okay, just to find the most fucked up item I could possibly find.
That one. It's like a needle, isn't it?
In order to destroy Dan Vask. So before I present to you my great find, I'm gonna share a little video with you really quick.
Oh gosh.
We want to set the record straight about penis bones.
What?
Just have the prestigious distinction of having the largest ones on the planet.
What the fuck is this?
So walruses have the largest penis bone on the planet. And I am above average. I am very above average. And so since walruses have the largest penis bone on the planet, I present to you the largest penis bone on the planet right there. That is walrus penis bone right there.
What, did
Okay.
you go on eBay?
That is, I went to the depths of hell.
God.
Okay.
You're
There's
so
25
crap.
boosters. Okay.
You're sick.
Walrus penis bones.
I really hope we didn't compare.
Bone.
And
What the fuck is going on? Does it still have skin on it?
oh
my
God. Two large walrus penis bones. Okay. So
Oh, no,
I
no.
automatically win. This is Dan's fault. Okay.
What have I done to this show?
But anyway, that's my round 2 right there. Now, if I lose, I don't know what to tell you because that is the greatest thing you'll ever see. All right,
Wow.
Dan. So there we go. That's the end of. You can end it right there. So there we go. So there's your backstory right there, Kabrutus. Now you probably are regretting everything, aren't you?
No, I think this is amazing actually, and I'm thinking to myself, I know some places where I could go and get some shark. Like, I don't know how guys call this because I know where to get some kind of some sea monsters weight stuff too. I'm just thinking to myself here. It's interesting. It's interesting. Thank you for sharing.
One of us. Kabrutus is one of us, no doubt about it. So I think we're gonna end on that note. So that was good. So I'm glad I got an opportunity to explain that to you, and I'm glad that you didn't leave. In fact, you're like, man, these guys are cool. So I was like, all right, that's awesome. But with that said, it's been a great Tuesday night's main event. We will catch up on the super chats. You guys know, typically I try not to leave any super chat unread, but sometimes we have to do the square ups. And this was a great show. It was awesome having Grummz and Kabrutus on. You're welcome back anytime, Kabrutus. Anything you need from us, we consider you part of the G&G fam now, man. So you're going to probably be embraced by all the Geeks and Gamers fans on social media, and they'll, whatever. It's a nice little corner of the internet, man. And I know you've been on with like Yellow Flash and Stuttering Craig, and so looking forward to it, man. Okay, so Fear the Beardo, where can they find you?
Yeah, Fear the Beardo on all social media. They're all public. Took a few much needed days off, but excited to get back into the regular swing of things. Streaming on my channel, making Sports Wars videos, and doing all this crazy nonsense in this crazy circus we call the 199 Geeks and Gamers.
Yep. Epic Mike.
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter, _epic_Mike. Always fighting with somebody on that stupid fucking app. But yeah, then you can also catch me on Kick, streaming over there. Having a really good time. Been playing Helldivers like nonstop. But in a couple of days, Dragon's Dogma 2 drops. I'm gonna be playing the hell out of that. I'm pretty excited about it. Looking pretty good. So yeah, I'll be playing that. You can catch me over there. And then this Thursday, you can catch me on Geeks and Gamers Tabletop, Secrets of the Frost Maiden. We're in the end game now. We're getting close to the end of that campaign. Been well over a year now going into that, so it'd be fun to finally come to an end of that. So yeah, that's what I got.
Hell yeah, Malcolm Flex.
All right, so pretty much find me on Twitter. Pretty much all I do, hot takes, couple of videos here, maybe a few roasts there. Right now, I'm still kind of laying low after I posted that video of a fat chick swimming, but. Again, I posted it. I told people to be nice. I don't know what they want from me, but the cancel mob is coming for me. So, again, when I come back, I'll,
Krista Nova, are you here, Krista? I know Krista's here.
I'm here. Hi.
All right. Where can they find you?
Everywhere except OnlyFans. Krista Nova.
Thank you, Krista. Appreciate that. My nerdy home.
Yeah, everywhere too. Everywhere, and I'll be going live on Kick and Twitch after the stream.
Oh, there we go.
Say hi. I'm saying the last part of Lego Harry Potter.
There we go. Young Rippa.
Yeah, I'm just working nonstop. We got a bunch of books to get out. Obviously, Ira campaign is active right now. Appreciate everybody that's shown a lot of love. And I purchased that so far. We still have a long ways to go over. We're closing in on 1.3 million. So appreciate y'all. A lot of love that y'all been shown. But yeah, the work does not stop. So we just been grinding nonstop. So yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Congrats, Rippa. Congrats,
appreciate
man.
That.
And Kabrutus, great having you on, man. Let them know where they can find you. Anything you want to share, anything you want to plug, fire away, my friend.
I'm on Twitter at Kabrutus Rambo. The same goes for my YouTube channel. And in the near future, I will have the website too, theidetected.com. And that's it. And thank you for the invitation. Really, I appreciate a lot. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Hey, man, it's been a pleasure having you here. And, you're definitely welcome back anytime. And we'd love to get you on for the gaming streams at some point, man. Maybe play some Helldivers with us or something like that. So,
100%.
But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We'll be live for Geeks Gamers Daily tomorrow morning. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be uploading a video here soon about the RGT85 situation. As soon as I just got to go through it, make sure I didn't fuck up something. But I'm going to rewatch it one time, and then I'll upload it here on the YouTube channel. We'll see you tomorrow for Geeks Gamers Daily. Other than that, you guys have a great night, and we will talk to all of you later. Maybe Jay will be back next week if his schedule permits. He's a pretty important guy, so, we'll see. And then I appreciate the super chat. Sorry for leaving some on the table, but we will do a square up for those. And I'll talk to you guys then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And